And we're live.
Hello.
Hi.
We are back. Welcome to Share My Queendom, everybody. I'm back with this same group of amazing ladies. I forgot when it was now, but it was about 3 months ago, you know.
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it that long?
It was about 3 months ago. We did Share My Queendom on Instagram. It was, I'll have to search, but it was a while ago. Like time.
We all had braids. That's all I remember is that we had braids.
Yeah, it probably
How
was
long ago was that?
It was episode 7.
Why?
And
on
it was
17. Oh,
it was in
7's a lucky
it was the
number.
It was the 1st of July. 1st of July.
And we
Oh,
in what?
okay, 2.5 months. That sounds less. No, it doesn't. 2.5 months.
Yeah, that went really quick.
Yeah, it did. Hi
So-
guys, it's been so long. It's been a whole day.
24 hours. No, 24 hours.
I know, right? Yeah, we did No New Friends. It was No New Friends. So we were just speaking about, the friendship that we've made, created and bonded over this crazy time. And I think we've just created such a great friendship.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about so much, and we just had to come back all together. On Instagram, we had to do it one by one. We was crying.
I love y'all so much.
Yeah, on Instagram we had to do it one by one, but it was a blessing that I got banned. I think I'm allowed back now, but I quite like this.
You're not going back.
Did they ever give you a reason why they banned you?
No, just something about my my content, but no, they haven't told me what about my content.
Oh, so someone snitched. That's what it sounds like. Because
Someone wasn't happy with something.
But what's bad about your content that needs to be reported?
That's what I understand.
This is a heavenly sanctified show that you are running here, ma'am. So.
It must. Well, this is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. But we're here and we're all together in one room. And
amen, Jesus.
It's amazing. Oh, and today's subject. Today's subject is black, pretty, dope, and single. Yeah. So that is, that describes all of us at this present moment in time. Actually, would you like to introduce yourself to people that are watching? Because obviously I know you, but they don't. Meena?
My God. My actual name is Meena, but everyone calls me as Meena. So, Meena, hi. And I'm currently a teacher in Dubai, but just do my thing. And that,
I'm Bree. Everyone calls me Bree. I'm in Washington, D.C., and I'm the misfit of the group. I mean, first of all, they're all horrible, but I'm the worst one, apparently. So
the bad twin.
The bad twin, yeah.
I'm Rachael, aka Rachie. I'm just here. Not joking. I feel like I'm like the Zen one at times, and then I can go to 100 real quick. So
yeah.
Y'all agreeing with that?
No, that's a lie. I'm not
about to say.
No, Rach is savage, but she's Zen.
Yes. I'm like no nonsense, no mess.
That's not Zen.
That's not Zen though, babe.
It is, because you're getting closer to your peace quicker.
No, your parents
off to get to your peace quicker. Therefore, I'm Zen.
Okay.
Just to show with it.
Starts on 10 these days because Shabby, I'm like, blood's gonna. So I think I'm the Zen one.
How about we just say there's no Zen amongst us and just keep moving? Because we're not gonna keep lying on a Wednesday. We're not doing that on Hump Day. Move on.
Yeah, all right then. None of us are Zen, but we'd like to imagine that we are. Yeah. All right, so that is us, and I think you know me if you follow me, but I'm Char, Char, whatever. And yeah, I've been doing this for 17 This is episode 17, I should say.
And we are proud of you, girl. You are killing
Yeah.
it. I think I only missed like one.
We've been having some great conversations, and we've still got some great conversations to come as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about this single stuff. Yeah. So let me just find our first question. Get rid of that. And our first question. Oh, another thing, if we speak at the same time, it will cut someone out. I think it only really picks up one, maybe two voices at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We have to, okay, we'll raise our hands. Okay.
Why are you single? Let me go. I'll go first. Why am I single? I'm just single because I don't currently have a significant other. That's my answer. And period.
I'm single because I actually thought about this today. I think I'm single because I want to be at this point in my life. I feel like sometimes situations obviously happen to put you in a circumstance where you're not where you are not in a relationship. But then after that, you have a choice to either, like everyone, all of us knows we can get into a full-blown relationship tomorrow if we wanted. It might not be right for us, but we could. And I feel like where I'm at right now, I'm single because I want to be single.
Good.
I think for me, it's kind of similar. Well, I lie. Up until probably the beginning of this year, it was similar to where Samina's at, meaning it was from choice for me. February will be 8 years. And that's because I focused more on my career, figuring out, me, some of my issues that make me, and what I don't want to be in the future, and like developing the type of woman that I want to be. And I feel like a lot of people go into dating or relationships not understanding who they are and what they want. So for me, I had to do a lot of work figuring that out, and also understanding what I have to offer as well, because I think we all kind of know what we want, but a lot of us don't know what we have to offer. So it was trying to figure that out as well. Like Samina said, if I wanted a boyfriend tomorrow, I could.
Yes.
It's just that I don't want just anybody. So that in itself is something that I've had to work on, and figuring out what my standards are, what my requirements are. And yeah, it's just more so that it's not a thing of, I don't think any of us are in a position where it's like we can't get a man. It's just figuring out who that guy is and why we would choose to be with him.
Yeah, I agree. What about you, Brie?
So for me, I think, well, I know for sure, I had to readjust from a lot of things that were happening in life all at the same time. So over the, not past 3 years, but a 3-year period of my life, everything just went to hell, but just blew up. And I was like, okay, I need to take a step back from everything and rebuild every aspect of my life. So I was in a relationship then. I decided to end that relationship. And now I'm getting to a place where I'm dating. I think, the hopeless romantic out of all of us. I'm always the one that's like, oh, I like him. And y'all like, nah.
So true.
So yeah, I think now I'm to a place, and I was telling you guys the other day, I am like one step before I see myself in a relationship. So I think I've done a good job at piecing it all back together. Very much like Rachel said, I know what I want now. I know what I want out of a guy. So I think, I've arrived.
Okay, like it. So, all right. So we believe we know why we're single, but what do others say about you being single? Why do they think you're single? I know I get told, oh, I'm too fussy, or just all the annoying comments, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody actually has ever told me. As a matter of fact, I feel like more people tell me to stay out of a relationship for a while than to get another one. So I don't think anybody's really told me, but I am aware that there's like some societal misconception that if you're single, something is like you're damaged goods or something. And it's like, now listen, okay, you be very careful how you speak to me, because if you're a man, I'll get you. If you're a woman, I'll take your man. Everybody calm down. Everybody just calm down. So no, I think I surround myself with people who have an understanding, so I don't really have to deal with that. But I am aware that it is an issue for some people.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, for me personally, I feel like people who, like, say maybe like guy friends who are like, bro, why are you single? And I'm like, and they think I'm still hurt, or I'm in that place of like hurt. But then my female friends are always like, nasty, be single, chill, like get a place where you're comfortable within yourself. Because I came out of a very blood clot long relationship. So my whole 20s was in a relationship, and it's only now 30 I'm really trying to. It's easy to jump into another relationship, and I just think, just mind their business sometimes. How about I'm just living my life?
That's, yeah.
Living your best life.
I think people also think like, oh, you look good or you're pretty, you shouldn't be single. And it's like, if it was that easy, then we would all be with somebody. Like, that's not the requirements. It's not that simple. And I think some people just feel like, oh, well, you better hurry up, because if you don't hurry up, all the good men will be gone or they'll all be taken. I don't know how many of them are out there that are available to just be taken like that. But people make it seem like if you don't hurry up, then you're going to be left alone. You're going to be 50 and single, 70 and single. And it's like, why can't I just figure this out? I would rather figure this out than rush into something and it lasts short term or not be what I want it to be or benefit both parties that are involved. And I think some people just feel like, oh, well, you know, you're wasting time, or you're over 30 now, like figure it out. It's like, when was there a time stamp on this? Like, when was there an age stamp on this? Like,
and it makes being single sound like it's a disease. Like, I'm single.
And then there's that thing that if you're over 30 and you're single, there must be something wrong with you.
And like, you've got to deal with whatever's available at this point. And I always say, like, my mum sometimes, like, obviously the culture I come from, she's just like, bruh. Like, my mum ain't never troubled me at all, okay? But now, as soon as I turned 30, she was like looking at me, she's like, Meena?
Ma'am?
I was just like, Mum, what do you want me to do? Go and make a billboard with my face and be like...
Well, you did it before. You presented your face.
Oh, gosh.
And I think what people don't realize is that I guess there's like structural roles. Obviously, nowadays women approach men or whatever. I do think that with, I don't know, maybe the way I'm set up is like, well, either way, I'm not looking for a man right now. Like, that's not what I want. But I think it has to go a certain way. So we're single sometimes because the guys that may be approaching us are not really ready for that, or are the right guys, or sometimes we're just not in the right state of mind or in the right position to be.
But they think they are. This is the problem. A lot of them think they are ready for a person like us until they get with a person like us, and then they realize they don't have the requirements that are needed for that. And I have this saying that I read the other day, well, a while ago, that said that if you're not ready for a certain woman, just leave her alone. Like, don't disturb her. Like, just let her be. Because I think some guys in their mind, they have an idea of what they believe their ideal woman to be, what she looks like, how she dresses, all this stuff. They meet her, but they're not on the level that would attract or really match with a woman like that, because they haven't got all their stuff together. So until you've got your stuff together, just leave her alone. Just leave her.
100%.
But I don't think a lot of guys have the ability to calm themselves or humble themselves and say, I'm not ready for that one. I think a lot of guys are just like, whatever woman I can get, if you think about how many times you're hit on during the day by a solid 2, and it's like, sir, you have no business talking to me. You got no piece of a job.
But you know what it is? Because they think
you should not be talking to me. But
they think they can finesse their way in. They think their little personality is going to do something, or it's going to help them get through that door. Where they, like, I had a conversation today. If a guy is not attractive, he has to have money. There has to be something that a woman will be interested in. And then if he doesn't have money or looks, he has to have personality. And a lot of times, the brokest, most broke down, bummy guy, if he can make you laugh, he feels like he's in there with you. He feels like, I've got a chance. Okay, that's cool. You got like that little bit of juice, but what else? What else can you do?
I don't think that most guys have the ability to just sit back. I mean, because they'll be the man if they're staying with that girl. So just like you said, if you're not attractive, you have to have money. But then what if she has her own money? And then it's like, well, you have to be funny. It's like, but I'm funny enough for the both of us. So
basically,
what else is there, sir? Like, there has to be something else. But I think women, I think we are much more equipped to say, I'm not ready for this type of dude. And a lot of times that comes across as insecurity, saying like, well, I don't deserve him. And so that's a problem too. But yeah, guys, just some of them, okay, just need to peel it back just a little bit. Don't talk to me.
Do you also think it's because we're in a different time in comparison to like our grandparents, where we have more say in what type of guys we
100%.
can be with now, because we are able to work and provide for ourselves? So because we can do that, it's a thing of, well, if you can't add anything to my life or take me above what I'm actually doing in my life, what's the point of you being around me? Whereas back in the day, if I couldn't work, the little mediocre stuff that you have might woo me over because I have nothing else. So I might as well just stick with this because it's stable or it's going to help me get through. But now you've got women that could earn more than their partners, or even, you know, build empires and stuff by themselves. I feel like some guys don't feel like they're equipped to compete with that. Well, sometimes we're not trying to get you to compete with us. Just meet us where we are.
They do. They see it as a competition when, like, especially like really successful women who are just doing a lot of things, making a lot of money. It's like people would expect them to be with somebody who's making more or doing more. It's like, I think it's a natural thing for men to be doing more. And if it's not that way, it's like, how do they work that out? The men don't feel adequate, or they don't feel man enough if the woman's earning more, or do you know what I mean? Like, they never really know what to do, and then they start to feel stuck. And then maybe I don't know.
I think that if we're being honest, though, I think all of us, not even I think, all of us here are independent women. We have our own. We're good.
Yeah.
I think across the board with each of us, the one thing that remains a necessary part of building something with somebody is consistency. So it's like, you are intimidated by how much I make, not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm as long as you make enough to take care of yourself, we'll figure it out later as far as like joining everything together. But for now, just be consistent, be a gentleman, like do all of the basic things. And I think that part is lost. I think I saw a post and this guy had just like graduated from law school or medical school or something. He literally put, I'm a doctor now, no kids, Black man, I'm like a hot commodity. So it's like, wow, they kind of have in their mind that they are the prize, which to a certain degree, everybody should feel like, you know, I'm the cat's meow and you have to bring something to the table. But there's so many thirsty women in conjunction with men who just feel like I'm the guy, you should be happy to have me. So it's like, here we are, 4 of us dating the way that people used to date in the 90s, apparently, or the 80s, apparently. We just want some old school R&B romance. Bring me some flowers. Like, call me, shoot me a text, say
this
I'm just
is
thinking of you.
it.
I don't need anything more than that.
You know how happy I am with flowers.
Like, I'm telling you, bring me some chocolate, some snacks. You in there with me.
Because I think they're missing out on the point that, like, we still want to feel special. We still want to feel desired and wanted. We're not trying to say that we don't need all those things. That we still want to feel like a woman or whatever that means. But I don't know what, like, it just seems like all of that energy is just diminished and it's gone. And I'm just like, what happened to just
skinny jeans is what happens. As soon as they started wearing skinny jeans and pink and turquoise, it was a wrap.
And getting nose piercings.
Oh wait, okay.
Like, I'm done.
Not mentioning no names.
End it now. We're done.
Glad I got a drink.
Right. I left mine. Oh.
Nose piercings and dyeing their hair bleach blonde.
Straightening their hair.
Can I leave? Can I clock out now? I can't.
Can they borrow your hot comb and all this anyway?
Hot comb.
I'm literally gonna die on this line.
I'm hot.
You know,
not naming no names.
What's your next question, Char? Get us out of this mess. Oh, Jesus.
On
see
that
what
note,
when we don't pray first. You see what happens when we don't pray first. I said we should have prayed.
I think we've kind of answered some of this question about whether we're being too fussy. I think that we do have standards. and I don't think we should drop them. I just Carly said, can they what? That was in reference to borrowing the hot comb stuff. Carly mentioned the name. No, it wasn't Cecil. No. This is
it was an experience
that
that I had
on Instagram today, and I said I have to. This is me with my friends that have no filter. Carly's one of them. Yeah.
Oh, Carly.
Antonio says success is fine, but if I can't look after us, then I can't make that work. You can earn whatever once I make enough to look after both of us. Okay, so you're like a proud, like you just don't want your woman anymore than you. So what if she earns a lot of money, then you've just got to work over hard.
But Antonio, you're talking yourself out of a potential good woman just because she makes more than you. Then you're just gonna say, nah, let me just throw her in the bin until I get my weight up. If she's okay with it, you should be okay with it.
It's the ego. Like I can't stroke this ego. Like I can't help that I'm amazing and I'm great. Yeah,
come on,
and I get paid for it. Like I can't help that. So if I come into a situation where this is my lifestyle, this is how I live, this is what I've worked on to acquire things, and you are intimidated by that, what am I supposed to do?
Exactly.
That has nothing to do with me. I'm presenting myself as this person, and if you don't feel like you can do that, like you can't be with someone like that, fine, leave it alone. But I think sometimes when you have these guys that are trying to diminish you and make you feel smaller because they want to feel great or the head of the household or all that stuff, nah, not doing it.
I mean, he kind of rewritten. He said that she can make more.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I misunderstood you. So she can make more, but I need to make enough to look after us. Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
no, it's not though. It's not.
No, but wait.
All right, scenario. What if she makes $500,000 a year and my man Antonio makes $100,000? You easily could live off $100,000. Well, at this point, in the next 2 years, you probably can. But you can live off $100,000. But sis is making $500,000, so she may want nicer things that Antonio can provide. So she's just supposed to
remember that story I told you guys
about
the woman who made more than her partner, and they went grocery shopping, and he started picking up things in the supermarket and just putting it in the trolley, and then she was just looking at him like, are you paying for this or am I paying for this? Because the way he was doing it was like, because she makes more, she'll just pay for it, like it'd be nothing.
No, it shouldn't be that easy.
And she had to say to him like, okay, I understand that I make more than you, but don't mean that you can just, abuse it because I have more money. That's not how this is going to work. And he kind of felt like, well, you have more money, so therefore you run this household. And that's when the whole ego thing came into play. And I just think it's just real petty. Like, if you feel inadequate as a man, go get your money up and leave me alone. Don't put me in a position where I have to now tiptoe around what I can and can't spend that I've worked hard for.
Yeah, that part.
A lot of the time, people don't realize that when it comes to like relationships or marriages, it is a partnership. Like, you're two individual people. No one person. Don't get me wrong. Back in the day, it ran a certain way, and I understand why it happened, where the man took care of the household. But in today's society, one salary isn't going to hold down a household. Full stop. Period. Unless they make it please. So I feel like coming into it and understanding partnership should be like, okay, you've got it now. Maybe there'll be a time when you ain't got it, and I've got it, and it isn't where I feel like I'm looking after you or you're looking after me. Come together. Do you get what I mean? So I think men do have a lot more ego when it comes to these things. But what I do realize sometimes, and I can say like, I'm not going to say anything, but I can say that when men do take advantage of a woman's position or a woman's ability to spend, let's just say, that can become an issue on the woman's part, and then it come across more like it's like she's giving now not out of choice, but because she feels like she has to, and it's like very boy, like you're treating your man like a boy. Do you get what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, sometimes. Sorry, go on, finish. No,
I say the dynamics of the relationship becomes more motherly. So I'm like I will start treating you like you're my son. And I think in those situations, and I'm not saying this is personally not what who said say it with your chest. What's going on? Like, this is what I do, but it's like what people need to understand. A lot of it is about appreciation. and in a relationship, understanding that you're partners. So as long as you're communicating well and you're in a position where one might be up, the other one's low, and vice versa, it's calm. But when you feel like you have a right over whatever she's earning, remember, it's like she will then treat you like her son, and then that's the problem in the relationship. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But
And it can go the other way. Sorry, Brie. You know, with like we're talking about like men's egos and stuff, like, you know, they prefer to be the main earner and stuff like that. There are some men that are very happy like with it, and like you were saying about the shopping, Rach, like I've been in a position before, I've spoken about it in a previous episode, and I made more money, which wasn't an issue for me, like I didn't care, but then it became a thing that it was just being abused. Like now you're suggesting all these things that we should do, which I know that I'm paying for, until I'm having to start pretending that I don't have money because you're just taking the mick now.
That's a problem. You never got to lie about how much money is in my account, and I'm like, or I'm giving you this £20, and you know you're gonna give it back to me whenever you get it. Like you have to start reiterating the fact that it's you have to pay me back. That's a problem. I don't want to be in a relationship like that.
And that becomes, like you said, like he's your son, like you're his mother. This is your pocket money, and when this runs out, you let me know, and then come back to me, and you'll get more. Like what?
You know those sugar daddies? Like, let's be real. If we're being all the way 100, yeah. So like what you posted, Rach, on Instagram yesterday, the sugar daddy guy, that was saying, you know,
that's my boyfriend, by the way. So y'all better relax on how y'all talk about him, okay?
Who was this now?
The older guy, the silver fox guy.
Oh yeah, okay. What's his name again?
Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna find
you about it later because I'm gonna call him.
Yeah, he was like, basically. But the thing is, the reason why that works is because there are a lot of women that are happy to be these Barbie dolls. Let's be
Wayne
real.
Lineker, he's Gary Lineker's brother.
Right? Yeah.
You tell me I got to work out 6 out of 7 days a week because you've got my personal trainer. I've got to make sure my hair's done, my nails done. I just sit down, don't do shit. Like there are women that are happy to do that, and there are men that are looking for that. A woman that doesn't have a brain in some cases. Yeah. They don't all have brains.
They just look good. Yeah.
They're happy to be or play that role. And I think for women like us, a lot of the time, yes, I'm not gonna lie, the lifestyle looks appealing. Okay, if I could just be jumping on the flight, going left, right, and center, it'd be great. But I've got too much of a big mouth, so I'm gonna have an opinion. I'm gonna have issues with certain things. I might not want to wake up and work out tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the morning just because you say the reason why you're paying for my lifestyle is so I can look good. And this is it's the same on the other side when it is a man with a woman who's paying his lifestyle, because you do have that sugar daddy, sugar mummy. It's the same kind of scenario where you're becoming more like a parent, which I think is a bit creepy when you read it. But
I don't think that I could ever get to that state. I'll tell y'all a story. It was Memorial Day weekend here, and I decided to have a cookout at my house, and I had a boyfriend at the time. And it was something we were just throwing together. This is before, like I had my own business, all that. So I was like, all right, we'll just go get a bunch of stuff and we'll try to keep the cost as low as possible. So we go shopping, and he was like, well, I really don't have it like this week, but can I get, let's get the stuff and I'll pay you back next week. I was like, all right, cool. So of course, on Memorial Day, like all of the type of cookout food is on sale. This story is so triggering to me. This is how petty it was. I got 99-cent hot dog rolls, and instead of him getting the 99-cent hamburger rolls, he was like, oh, I don't like those, and he got the ones that were $3.99. I don't know why that $3 pissed me off so bad. I swear that I broke up with him that weekend. We had to cook out.
No way.
I swear, I wish my best friend was in here because she would tell that story now to this day. Like, how dare you? You see me picking up 99-cent rolls. And you just gonna ball out on my money and get the $3.99? You lost your mind. You don't have no respect for me. You gotta go. We had to cook out, and by Monday we were officially done. Like, I'm not.
Oh my goodness.
It was bad. I don't know that I can say that we broke up for that reason, but that was definitely a cherry on top.
That was the sure.
I could never do that. I could never. But I think for guys and their egos, it really has nothing to do with us, because if you're talking about a woman who knows how to love a man, she will never even make you feel that way. So it's not like she'll take you into Fendi or Hermes and be like, all right, so you can get this bag for me. Oh, I forgot you can't. But she would never do anything. I would never do anything like that. So you have to get out of your own head. And that's when you start talking about if people are ready to be in relationships at all, let alone with the person of your dream. Like we always say, are you your type's type? If you can't deal with me making money, if you can't, you know, deal with the way that I love you, then you're not for me. And that's all good. Like you got to go. Like Rachel said, I'm not going to make myself small to make you feel better. That's just never going to happen. So,
yeah. Do you listen to your friends' dating advice?
No. Unless, no. Do you know it's funny? If it's you lot, I will listen a bit more than people I've known for years. That's because I think it depends on the angle and the space they're coming from. There are a lot of people that give advice and they haven't even been in a successful relationship, and you're like, how would you know this? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And then there are people that they slightly don't want you to win. They want to see you crumble. They want to see you struggle so that you have more issues to tell them and there's more gossip for them to hear about, or more stories for them to hear about. They don't want to hear about your happiness and your joy, because if they're not happy and joyful, then it's like, oh, I have to hear this again. I don't want to hear this when I'm in a bad situation. So a lot of times I'm very particular and careful with who I tell what to, because I know not everybody wants me to be the best that I can be and wants me to be happy. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I do. I can't. Okay, so I listen, but I always listen as in a way of research. So you know when you gather information, so you gather information, different people's opinions, and then I filter it out to see what the core message is. Because I do think a lot of the time, a lot of my friends, I'm not gonna lie, are quite feisty. Like most of them are basically these lot star signs: Scorpios, Leos, Cancers, or Gemini. So they come for me a lot of the time, especially the Scorpios. But what I do is I filter out a lot of the information. I go to the core of what they're trying to say. And I do feel like because the friends that I hold close to me, or the ones that I would ask for relationship advice, are the ones that are genuinely like know me. So I would listen. But anyone else that's come, like if you're my party friend or my outgoing friend and then you're trying to give me advice, I'm gonna take it with a pinch of salt, and I'd appreciate like you looking out for me, because I don't think people always have malice.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm necessarily going to listen. I always go with what I think is good for me at any time.
I think for me, it depends on the friend, honestly. You can hear pain in certain people's story or the way that they talk. It also, there are some people who, like I have married friends, I have single friends, and one of my married friends, we just gonna pray for her, but she was very much like, I'm married now, you guys have to take my advice, blah 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 blah. And it's like, now sis, you're not married to the best of guys, so you should probably calm down. And then that kind of like blew up in her face. So yeah, it depends on the friends. I think you have to give me advice or show me that you're there for me in other aspects of my life before I start talking to you about matters of the heart. So it depends on how you talk to me about my business. It depends on how you talk to me about just giving me a compliment or righting or wrong, or hey, I noticed that you did this thing and I just want to give you some advice. So I think there's a lot that comes into play before I get there. But with you guys, it's been hella easy. Like we just dove in. And I think the trust that was there has grown even more now, because I think each of us handle each other so gently, but then also we are a reflection of each other. So it's like, now listen, I love you, but are you doing that thing again that we talked about? Or listen, I love you, are you still talking to this trash ass boy? Listen, I love you, but yeah, so we definitely have the ability to love on each other and sort through it. That's another thing. If you can't sort through me just venting, because sometimes you just have a bad day. So this little thing that your man did that really could have been nothing, if you tell it to the wrong person, they will automatically hate him forever. And it's just like, well, I don't hate him anymore, so you can't hate him. You only get to hate him when I say we hate him. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
you
too.
just have to know like what friends can let stuff go, which friends are really there for you, like Rachel said. So not
Yeah.
everybody, but when you find it, it's a good feeling to have.
Yeah, I don't think I listen.
We know.
You know what? I listen, like I hear what's being said. I listen. Whether I act on it is different. But
Definitely don't act on it.
I know that I do that, and sometimes no, it does help me to process things. So sometimes it helps with what I'm already trying to process for myself. And I think I trust myself, and I know myself very well. So I will air things out and talk things through. And sometimes just talking things through, I'm already sorting it out for myself anyway. And yeah, I might come with a situation, and then a friend will say, "Look, you should maybe da 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 da," and that might not be the answer I want. So I might repeat it again. Now I don't know if you guys quite heard what I'm saying.
Yeah, I used to have a friend that used to do that. It used to irritate me because it's like the answer is not going to change. Stop telling me this story in 5 different ways. Like the answer is going to be exactly the same.
I do that sometimes. But sometimes I'm like, no, but what I was trying,
because you want me to agree with you, and guess what? It's not happening.
Yeah, because you know when you know what you want, innit? You know what you really want.
You just
I had a friend that did that. She would. I remember she was in this situation, and it's like every time we was around a different group of friends, she'd bring it up, and I'm like, why is she bringing this up again? And it was like she wanted to hear a different answer, but she kept getting the same answer.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking to myself, you just need to get over this because it's not going to change.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad. What I do feel like a lot of the time is there's like that balance or like middle ground between two sort of paths. It's either you learn from your own mistakes or you learn from the mistakes of others, in essence.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time when we speak and we give advice, it comes from a place of, oh, that seems like something similar I've been through or something I've seen in the past. So I'm going to say, watch out for this, that, and the other. And obviously, no one situation's the same. And that's why I feel like a lot of the time, I give listen, when people tell me shit, I'm always like, okay, so let's evaluate. What are you trying to, do you want me to have an opinion?
That part, say it, Meena.
Do you want me to just listen? Because I'm happy to listen and be like, yes, girl, do you want me to gas you up or do you want me to tell you the truth?
Yeah.
And then when you ask for that, I'll be like, okay, babes, listen, you're going to do what you want to do. And my friendship, because with me, my friendship will never change. Even if I give you advice and you don't take it, that's your choice. But there are a lot of friends who will get angry with you if you don't take their advice and say it just so happens to go the way that they predicted it to go.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're angry with you. And it's like, but that's not what a friend is. A friend is there to support you regardless. And
but that's why I said you have to be careful who you talk your business to. Because there are some people
let them know
in your face when it goes according to what they thought was right and you did something else. They will turn around and be like, well, I did say that, or I told you so. And it's like, well, I don't need to hear that right now because it's not helping the situation. That's why you have to be very and some people say, are those people friends? We all have friends for different reasons.
Yeah.
We can go to for certain things, friends that we work with, but everybody has a position and a place in your life. So you have to have those core friends or those 2-3 people that you know you can talk about these certain things to. You can't talk to all your friends about it.
I love y'all, but in this scenario, I would be a shitty friend because I'm not gonna listen. You're not gonna keep telling me about the sex because it's like that one heartbreak. It's like, oh, I'm all in, girl. Come over here. I'm gonna get some wine. We're gonna have some popcorn, some chocolate. We're gonna eat all the things and we're gonna talk about this because oh my God, I can't believe he did that. The second time, right? It's like, oh, okay, well, tell me what I can do and I'll be here for you. The 10th time, I ain't doing that. Girl, what you want? You talking to me about Tyrone again? Okay, girl, I'm gonna call you back. Like, I don't want to hear no more. I
don't even get to the second time. The first time we'll have 2 days to talk about it, and then we're not doing.
That's what I'm saying. So in this scenario, nah. Like I literally just had to tell my friend, and I love her to death, but I was just like, I'm not equipped to keep talking to you about your dating life. Like it's frustrating to me that you pretty much make the same mistakes over and over, and then it's like they want you to keep up with the whole story, and it's like I can't. Like we grown now, you know what I mean? Like we don't have the 17-year-old life that we have where the guy was the only thing that mattered. We grown women out here running businesses. Some people have children. It's like, sis, if you haven't figured it out yet, okay, I'm gonna need you to stop dating for a while and maybe circle back around to it. You making the same mistake with the same dude, like, nah, you can't keep calling me. You can't keep calling me, baby. I'm sorry. You two would never set of friends. I'll be the shitty friend, but nah, I
don't think it's about being a shitty friend. I think also it's about understanding. Like, this is one of my favorite sayings, like understanding the capacity in which your friendship operates. If you're a person that I've already spoken to, we've had this sit down conversation. I've what's it called? Comforted you. I've supported you through this. Okay, it's happened the second time. It's happened the third time. I now recognize the person you are. Does that mean that my level of friendship is going to change with you? No, it just means that my expectations of you is going to change. I don't expect you to take advice. So all I'm going to do is be like, okay, babes, you want to, you know me, I like to have a drink. What is it, a drinking day? So are we crying? All right, cool, I'll watch the movie. But I don't expect you to learn from your mistakes. It's just who you are. But it's just
that's something I had to learn last year through another friend, that you have to meet people where they are, not where you want them to be. So some people, you can see that what the potential is in them. You can see where they could be. But if they're not willing to get there, you can't do anything for them. You just have to let them figure it out themselves. And that's when you, as a person, have to reduce the amount of energy that you're giving to that person now, because you're throwing this energy at them. They're not taking it. Do you know what? That's draining you as a person. So you take it from yourself, you keep it. And if they don't want to hear it, they don't want to hear it. Fine. Let it be that. I think this process of going over is too much.
No, you don't get. My whole thing is, we only get hurt by our friends because we want the best for them. But ultimately, if they have already established what they're happy to deal with, why am I then going to push another narrative that they don't want to accept? But I'm still going to be your friend, because we all know that in extreme cases, let's just say extreme cases of like domestic violence or domestic physical abuse, whatever it may be, like I would kill myself to know that I had cut off this friend because she wasn't in a position to hear what I had to say. Do you get what I mean? So for me, it's like I will be around you and keep a safe space around you, so you know that if you do need me, I'm always going to be here. I'm never going to judge you. You can go back as many times as you want, and I'm always going to be there. But my expectations of you is where I protect myself, so I don't get hurt. Do you get what I mean? I don't want to get hurt.
I think it's about balance. I think that you 100% can still be there for your friend in every other aspect of life. But one thing that I learned is that you should always ask people, are you okay for me to vent to you? Are you okay for me to dump this on you? So I feel like we take on a lot as being a supportive friends and having this person come to you, and it's a person you love. So seeing them in tears, seeing them upset, all it does is rile you up. So I think it's a combination of them both. Like, listen, I love you. I want the very best for you. I'll always be there for you. However, as a new boundary in our friendship, I kind of want you to cut back on talking to me about your relationship, because sometimes it's kind of draining to me to see you in pain like this. So if they can't accept that, if now you're mad at me because I don't want to hear your dramas or I don't want to hear you settling, then I mean, okay, that's a risk that I'm willing to take. But you can't always be the person, which is why the other day I had a vent session with you guys, and I made it a point to come back around and say, oh my God, thank y'all for listening, because I get that it can be a lot. So when your homegirl just expects you to cry with her every time or get her booze every time, sis, I ain't the one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you are going through this heartbreak, but I can't. Like, I don't have the mental capacity to deal with your stuff too. Not right now.
I have a similar situation with a friend, and with a similar situation that's been going on for a while, and it has been a bit like that. Like, we're kind of going around in circles, and although it can be draining, it's like I can't because of like how I feel about her, and maybe because I know her history and I know her. Do you know what I mean? I can't say to her, I don't want you to speak to me about that anymore, because I know that she needs the outlet. And do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's embarrassing for her to speak about that situation with other people, because, you know, other people might make her feel embarrassed about the situation that she's still doing, whatever, she's still there, whatever. But I know that she feels comfortable to speak to me. So I would hate for anything really bad to happen and her to think I can't go to her anymore. Do you know what I mean? So I know what you're saying. You have to protect your boundaries.
But then,
I think I know my boundary. I know my boundary. Like if it doesn't, if he's not at that point, I'd rather go as far as I can. Do you know what I mean?
But do you feel like slightly you're enabling her choices of not changing her situation, because she knows no matter what happens with this guy, she's got you to come back to and vent to? Whereas if you was to give her not ultimatum, but be like, I understand you come to me for this type of advice, but I don't think this is productive. As your friend, I feel like I want to support you in your decisions, but you know, this takes a lot out of me. And when are you going to decide enough is enough for you, so I can see the best in you? Like, I feel like sometimes we have to help guide our friends to a better
no, there's definitely guiding happening.
Enablers.
Yeah, it's not oh, okay, you're doing that, I don't agree, but fine. It's not that. It is, I will give my opinion and stuff.
Yeah,
but it just seems to just still be happening. So I wouldn't stop talking about it. I wouldn't stop trying to guide her. Do you know what I mean? I can only do what I can, you know. I'm not a parent or anything like that, but
well, listen, I'm gonna light a candle at the church house for you and your energy, but make sure that you always have what you need to deal with that situation, because I'm exhausted even listening to you saying that she keeps circling back around. Not with the same story and the same boy. Nah, you need get a new boy. I would rather you get a new man and have that same problem than to have the same problem with the same man. Like, give me a new, throw a new name in there or something.
Man, there's a reason. The thing is, don't get me wrong. Okay, I was that
also
girl.
I've seen myself in a similar position before, so I know what it's like.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, I know how embarrassing that can be. And it's not a thing, you know, like it's almost like sometimes if a woman's in like an abusive relationship, someone who hasn't been in a relationship, she's stupid. Why didn't she leave? She can leave. There's nothing wrong with her feet. Why is she there? She's stupid. That's usually what you hear people who don't understand. But the woman that's there, she knows that she shouldn't be there. She knows this isn't healthy for her, but there's something that's making her stay. So, you know, there's the whole embarrassment. That's why a lot of women in abusive relationships don't speak to anyone about it, because they're so embarrassed by it and they can't leave. There's something that literally can't make them leave. So I would never want to turn my back on her. Do you know what I mean?
I think when you kind of not been, and it doesn't have to be the extreme of being in
I mean that's extreme. That's not actually a situation.
But that kind of repetitive, like constantly going back to this one particular person, I think there's a level of understanding where obviously same kind of say love and care that I wanted at the time. Don't get me wrong, there were friends that gave that to me, and there were a lot of friends that didn't, because they were like B, this is like the 10th time you come to me about the same shit, and I'm like, but I love it. Do you know what I mean? Because in my mind, and I'm not gonna lie, I always say God had to destroy the whole blood clot boat. You know, when you try to the boat there was refuge so I could hold on and try to sail to the islands. God was like, the whole thing sunk out of it. I was trying to swim for my life, and then I could like no, but then at the same time, like having gone through that and come out of it, the way I choose to be with people, even in terms of hearing repetitive stories, and yes, don't get me wrong, sometimes I'm like, oh, blood clot, we're talking about the same shit again. But at the same time, I understand that when the heart's invested, it's a whole different ball game. And if I can be anyone in that point, I want to be as supportive as I can be. And I will tell you about yourself and I will check you. But I also want to leave that line of communication open. So, you know, regardless of what's going on, you always have me to contact. But you also know that there might be a little salt and pepper on the end when you talk.
But just like you said, it took God to destroy it. So all the times you went back to him, all the times you went to your girlfriends like, oh, we're having another issue, but nothing that they said ever made you decide to leave. It was divine intervention. Again, what you calling me for? Like, when you ready to pack up your stuff, like when you need a truck or something, that's when you call me. But if you really think about it, it's about being honest. So my friend asked me a question the other day, and she was like, I talked to this guy that she does not like. I really don't like him either, to be honest with you. But she was like, why do you talk to him? And I was like, literally, because I'm bored. Like, I just don't have anything. I don't have anything else to do. he was there like at the time. And so if she's honest with herself, right? Like I get that I'm a complete dumbass for going back to him, but I keep going back to him because the D is good. Or I keep going back to him because he buys the best gifts. Like if she is honest, then we can have a conversation. But don't keep coming to me like, oh, but I just can't let him go. You can. You're afraid. Like use your big girl words. Like you can leave. You're just afraid of what your new life will look like. Or you can leave, but you're afraid that nobody else will want you. I can deal with those issues. But just the regular because I love him, that ain't enough for me. Girl, I'm gonna go to the mall and I'm gonna catch up with you later. I ain't finna do it. No, I ain't finna do it. Like when he finally breaks your jaw and you gotta get it wired shut and you ready to leave. Like then you like Tina in the limo when she got out and she had no ride, she had no money. That Tina could have called me. The one in the studio singing like I wrote it. Girl, don't call me. Don't no. That Tina don't get to call me. Limo can call me though. I don't got time. I don't got what I say wrong? If you are legit being honest and you just I just feel like being a dumbass or he too or give me like the real reason. We are past I love him. What does love even mean really? Because if somebody for you, right? If your friend comes to you every single time, she's like, but I love him. What if her definition of love is not the same as yours? Like if you actually asked her, what is your definition of love? And it's some stupid ass version of I like him. Then you could be hella mad, right? Like,
okay, but then I would ask. So my whole thing is that I'm like, okay. So this is what I'm saying with those kinds of friends. My whole thing is I'm the listening ear and ask questions. I don't impose advice. I'm like, so what you okay, so. Like, so if he calls you tomorrow, are you answering? Are we answering or are we? Like with those friends, one of my good friends, like back in the day, used to say to me, "Listen, sis, let me know if you want to be a doormat. If you're trying to be a doormat, I'm letting you do your thing. I'm gonna still be here, but at least I know what you're trying to be." And I was like.
That's a friend like me. Tell me what we doing.
That is Bree.
Tell me what we doing, and I got your back 100%. But don't keep telling me you love him. They ain't enough.
In her saying that, like after years, when I found myself coming out of this situation, and then obviously having this sort of newfound fucking, you know, when it's like, ooh, my brains are tingling, like I'm spider senses or whatever. I'm like, okay, so now I understand why we keep going into this repetitive cycle. I just ask questions. I'm not imposing an advice unless I know you're the person that listens to me. But I do realize, I'm not going to lie, as much as all of us like to say, most of us don't listen to fuck all, mate.
No.
One of us will give...
Not at all. But you know what? Char is the worst. I'm snitching on you too. Look at her eating snacks. She knows she the worst. Char was like, remember that time? We're going to speak very, very loosely here. Char was like, all right, well, it's taking me 3 days to work up the courage to tell you. 3 days? But she had no intention of talking to us beforehand because she knows that we would have been like, girl, hell no. But she's like, well,
I knew exactly what, the response I'd get.
But even though it took you 3 days, the outcome of you telling us still wasn't dramatic. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you did that. Yeah. It was just more so like,
I think we fainted for like 10 strong minutes. I think we did. I think I threw up. I'm pretty sure I threw up.
Now it's
Weena played dead.
Joke, like it's an inside joke.
Who are we talking about? What happened?
Yeah. And then the other situation where we were all like, oh, but I like him. And Swim was like, nah, I'm good. I'm out. So nobody here listens. I know I didn't listen.
Nope.
I think
they're calling us.
Kind of listen.
Yeah, you kind of listen. You take the parts that you know what you are. You like the person reading the Bible. It's like, well, listen.
You know what it is with Meena? Meena listens, but she gets there in her own time. That's what Meena does. So Meena will listen to what we have to say. She may not do it instantly. It may take her a few days or a few weeks, but she gets there just in her own time.
That's fair.
That's Meena.
Rachie don't even ask for advice. She's like, listen, this thing happened to me.
And this is what I'm going to do. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, by the way, But it's the funniest thing, the way that we all interact with guys, like for us to be so different, we all kind of interact with guys pretty much the same way. It's like all of us are very opinionated and independent, but there's a softer side that happens when it comes to talking to guys and like getting to know a guy. And I feel like when it's harder for women like us to show that soft side to somebody. So I think that when it doesn't work out, maybe the disappointment is a bit greater for us. It's like, I tried to let you in. I don't normally share this space with people. And then this is like what you do. So the good thing about us, though, is that we never take that into the next scenario or relationship, if you will. So I think that we're good at.
I think one thing that's great about us is that we're not bitter. We're not bitter women. Like we don't hold on to the energy of disappointment or things just not going the way that we wanted them to. We're very good at, do you know what, this didn't work, let's just move on to the next situation. Or you know what, like I'm still optimistic or I have hope towards the next situation.
And get excited about the next day.
Yeah, we've never been like,
you guys get excited.
I think that's the difference between men and women. When men get hurt, that's just it. They're about to hurt the next 5 women they come across.
Oh no. There's some women out here are crazy. Don't get twisted.
100%.
Luckily, I don't have them near me.
But this is the thing. That's what I was gonna say. Like, even in deeping it, I feel like we are, as much as guys. I think back in the day, guys were accustomed to rejection. You try to move to a girl on road, and she either has it or she doesn't. Full stop. Period. Today's society, women are accustomed to rejection because guys actually chat to girls and then they drop them out and they move to the next girl. So with us, we're just like, oh, okay. When we try to tell a guy, do you know what? I'm actually not interested in you like that. I'm really sorry. Like, you're a nice guy. I'm not interested in you like that. They make up a whole blood clot story.
You ain't lying.
It must be the fact that you're still hurt or crying over your ex. It must be the fact that you lost an arm in the last World War II. I don't know like,
I've been called a lesbian. I've been said, "Oh, you're butters anyway."
Is that they cannot take rejection? And I'm like, sorry, I know we've been stuck on this one question, so I think
I'm gonna move on to the next. Do you want to finish what you're saying?
I was just saying, like, ultimately, I think that when it comes down to like us as women, we're because we've been taught, and I think without making it like a guy bashing session, from early we've been taught some kind of emotional intelligence more than men. So we understand how to deal with our emotions to some extent. Not all women have it in the same way, but we do know how to deal with our emotions to some extent. So we also know to understand that if a guy rejects us, it's not always all about us. It might be like a little bit, but 9 out of 10 times it's like, all right, cool, let them go, like do their thing. On the flip side, man, them don't always take it. Like they don't. They don't. Sorry, I know we're probably going to touch up on this.
I'm going to be quiet because I know where this is going. I'm just going to mind my little business.
All right, we're going to move on to the next question. Well, it's not even a question. It's just we need to hear about some dating horror stories.
How much time we got?
Oh, gosh.
Because, baby. Wait, that's a broad category.
It's very, okay. So I could mean dating as in like a bad date.
Okay.
Or just when you're dating. I guess everyone has a different version of dating and what dating means. I mean, for me, it would literally just be a bad date.
Okay. So just one, because listen, you can have a whole guy who's a horror story. So what are we trying to do here? Because is this a healing circle or is this a popping and popping?
I don't know. All right. So you've just met somebody. You may have gone on 1 or 2 dates. You might have met up a couple of times. So there's nothing there yet. You haven't made any kind of commitment. You're just getting to know each other. That's where I would say is the dating stage, where you're just kind of getting to know each other. Yeah, any nightmare situations?
I'm embarrassed to say mine. Y'all go first. I'm really embarrassed to say mine.
I mean, where do you want to start? Like, there's guys that
The deep breath though, yeah. I'm ready, Rachel. Come on, let's drink. Where's the shots?
I think my worst date has been I went to dinner with someone and the waiter had like really nice tattoos. So I complimented his tattoos. And then when the guy walked off, he was like, "Oh, so you like him then?" And I was like, "No, I just complimented his tattoos." "You sure? Because the way you said it seemed like you like him." And I'm just like, "Do we have an issue here?" He's like, "Well, I'm just saying, like, if I saw a girl that looked pretty, I wouldn't say it." And I was just like, "I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I wouldn't feel
like, why
no.
not?
But that's down to you." So then I remember like my meal came and he took his whole entire fork and put it in my dish to taste my dish
Oh, hell no.
without asking me.
Mm-mm.
And the way
His
I wanted
entire
to
fork.
Was it
I
the first
wanted
date? Was it the first date?
first kind of date because we knew each other, but we never gone out. So it's like you know
Okay.
someone and then they want to take you out. And then the way I wanted to just like take the bowl, twist it around and say, just have it, because I didn't want it anymore. I just felt like I
Yeah.
don't want this anymore. And then he was like, "Oh, it tastes good." And I was like, "You know, you could order your own because we didn't say we're sharing food here. Not that I
this
don't
is
mind
a
sharing
mess.
food. But don't put your whole fork in my plate without asking."
The whole fork. That's the part.
And then I ordered a green tea, and the green tea is free, by the way. This is Wagamama's. It was free. It came to the table, and then it was like, "Oh, let me try it." Just grabbed it and tried, and I was like,
wait a minute, Rachel, have y'all kissed or anything at this point?
"No."
So he's just sharing his spit all over your stuff.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm thinking to myself, like, this is free. If you wanted to try it, you could have got your own. Like, even if it was £2, £5, 10, whatever, you could have got your own. So by this time, I'm just done. I'm just like, I just want this to be done. I'm just done. Because it was little comments that he's making. I was just done. So then we're leaving and he's like, "Oh, do you want to go for a drink?" So I was just like, "I'm out."
I was like, you can't still be thirsty. You drink my damn green tea. You can't still be thirsty. No, I'm good. I'm gonna go home where I can actually have a swig of my own beverage.
So we went to, because I was trying to be like a bit patient. I didn't want to just be like snapping off. And then went to the bar. We're sitting like face opposite on the table. And he texts me while we're at the table saying, "After this, do you want to go to a hotel?"
It's my popcorn.
This is when I'm like, right, it's my cue to go, pick up my bag, time to go. So I start walking towards the station and it was raining and I had an umbrella. He didn't have an umbrella. And I get to the station and he's like trying to get under my umbrella, like trying. He's much
Lovely.
and I'm like 5'6", he's probably like 6'2", and he's trying to get under it and I'm just holding it so like it's just me underneath it. It's like we're fighting with the rain and the umbrella.
Good for you.
Walking towards the station. And then we get to the station and he's like, "Oh, so it's been a really good night. I really hope to see you again." Kind of
who had a good night? The people that were next to us? Not us.
And then tried to like lean in for a kiss. And I was like, "Nope, we're not doing that. I hope you get home safe. Good night." And that was that.
Did you ever speak to him again?
Yeah. I ran into him, funny enough, like 2 years ago.
And what happened? Did he ask you to borrow your lip gloss or any other of your personal possessions that he helped himself to? Did you just go in your purse when you saw him?
Well, he asked to take me out again, but I was just like, nah.
Did he even take you out, or did he just eat your meal? Like, he ate your meal and drank your drink. So literally, you were just there for him to look at. He didn't pay for you; he paid for him. No, that's no. Mm-mm.
And then I've had another one that's been bad, but it wasn't like, it's not a long story. Basically, the check came, he couldn't afford it, and then he had to call his boys to transfer money into his account because I wasn't going to pay for it.
I'm gonna head out. Let me just get all my stuff so I can leave. But let me get this straight. Let me wait. Let me get this straight.
I'm so disgusted.
This man, okay, who can't even afford the meal, is helping himself to the meal he can't afford. Are you homeless? Like, what is wrong with you? I'm done. Nope. I'm done. I'm gonna head out. Well, that makes mine. Well, no, mine is still bad. Go ahead, Weena.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't really have any bad date stories. I think when the only bad horror date stories I have is like when it gets too personal too quickly. Do you know what I mean? Where people can see, like, as if they have a crystal ball and they can see your future, past, present, and everything falling. And they're like,
y'all are stressing me out. These stories.
But like for me personally, like luckily, I think I'm probably a bad person to date because I will always challenge them at the bill paying point. I'm like, I don't want you to pay the bill because I feel like it's awkward, and then that means I owe you, and then that means you might want the vagina. Sorry, pause if anyone's watching it. But I'm just saying, I just don't want to be in that position where I feel like that has to happen. So I always argue. And plus, I'm new to the scene, innit? I'm a baby in the game.
Girl, listen to me, okay? Listen, we've already established you're not going to take advice, right? We've already established all of us are shit.
I take more advice than any of you lot, okay? I'm the one
okay, right. That's true. So take this advice a month down the line when you actually feel like receiving it. But women should never feel bad. Like, there's been this whole debate going around recently about dating in 2020. The woman, shouldn't always accept male swing. You absolutely should. You should let this man spend his... Listen to me. Don't get me activated, Wayne. When you leave the house, right, just to do your makeup, I want everybody to think about how much the products cost that are on their face right now. Before you even leave the house, from the neck up, you already $200 in, right? Foundation, concealer, highlighter, lipstick, eyeliner, all of that. Then you put on this dress and these uncomfortable ass shoes. The least my man can do is buy you some dinner and not eat it. You gonna pay for me to eat. Like, you are in... Listen, it's about femininity, right? Like, you have to... It doesn't always have to be monetary, but you do have to pay some sort of fee to be in my presence. I'm good company. I'm educated. I'm fun. I'm beautiful. You're gonna have to pay.
I think people forget that also shows how he's going to show up for you as well. Like, it's showing, like, I can actually pay for your food. I can feed you if I need to feed you. Like, I got you. It's more that energy as well. Sometimes it's not a thing of I need you to pay for my food, but it's because he wants to. And I've had this conversation before. I don't pay on first dates. I've never paid on a first date my whole life. Like, I refuse to, because as far as I'm concerned, I had to go to a lot of effort to come to this table.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
You gonna pay in front of you is part of your experience.
Come the second or third date, you do the, I'll get this one since you got the last one, but really you don't want to pay for that one either. I'm not even gonna do that I'm not gonna reach for it. I ain't gonna
I've never done it.
I ain't gonna feel bad about what I ordered. You asked me out on this date, you want to spend time with me. If I want the lobster today, that's what I'm gonna get. You get what I'm saying? Like, you just
reality is, I do this to my male friends. If you're going to take a girl to a restaurant and you've picked the restaurant, right, you look at the menu and say to yourself, if she orders the most expensive thing on this menu, can I cover it? If not, go somewhere else.
Then you need to choose somewhere else.
What you're going to do is have me sit there and think, well, that's £20. I don't want him to. No. If you've taken me out and said to me, we're going to dinner, I should have every right to pick whatever I want on this menu and not feel ashamed or embarrassed to pick it, because you chose the place. I didn't. You just wanted to show up. So I get to pick. And even if we're doing starters, main, desserts, whatever, I should still have the option to do that. And if you can't afford that, don't take me here.
Don't go there.
Yeah.
You get there and it's like, right, so let's just get the main. Like, can you, like, you're already scrolling through the starters.
I'm already gone online and looked at the menu and decided what you're going to have.
Yeah.
And I just be honest, I'm the kind of person, I'll be real, like, say, for example, I go out or whatever, like, I just don't, okay, so with me, as you don't know, I like to have fun in it. So if I'm going out, I want to have a couple of drinks. And I know I can have 1 or 2 drinks or whatever, but I don't want somebody to feel, what's it called? Entitled to pay, like they have to pay for my drinks. So I'm always like, listen, I'm gonna buy the drinks because you might not be drinking how much I need to drink. So I'm just gonna pay for the drinks and whatever. But I'll be honest, the only time I've had a really bad date was when I met this guy for breakfast just before I went for brunch. So obviously I live in Dubai, so I had to drive and park my car. So basically it cost me £10 to do valet where we went, yeah?
Mm.
And he told me to meet him at this breakfast place. So I was like, all right, cool. So we went to this breakfast spot, blah, blah, blah. First and foremost, I didn't really like the breakfast spot, but I was just like, okay, this is what he suggested. I'll eat it. So we ordered my eggs. I told them what I wanted. They got it wrong. So he made them change it. It was still wrong. I said, listen, don't worry about it. Like, it's fine. I'm not going to eat. I didn't eat anything, yeah? Then whilst in the middle of the date, so let's say the date came up to like, let's say £25, okay?
Mm.
He tried to use a voucher to pay for it. And like, listen, I don't have a problem with you using a voucher. I don't. But he wanted to go halves on the half. So imagine
I can't.
So he really wanted to pay a quarter of the bill.
So imagine you use the voucher, okay, and then he wanted to go halves on the blood clot half. So obviously, I was like, but they were like, the voucher only works for lunchtime menus, and I was like, nigga, you should have told me it was a lunchtime menu. Because in the end, what happened was I ended up paying double what he paid because I had already paid for my car. Do you get what I mean? So after that day, I was like, fuck this. I'm not, I don't care. I just was like, I ain't holding at this pussy hole. But after that, I bumped into him at a brunch. So let's say like a month later, I bumped into a brunch and he proper tapped me. He's like, oh my gosh, how have you been? I was like, oh, hi, you're right. Yeah. And I kept moving and I was like, nah. Listen, I ended up paying, basically, I could have, like, and the worst thing is in Dubai money, that is nothing. Like, if you think about your salary out here, he was a top accountant. He told me he had houses and.
Wait, he's an accountant.
Using a coupon on the first date.
And let's be real, breakfast. It wasn't even drinks or anything. It was breakfast. And I didn't even touch the food. So I paid for my meal, including the car. And because I got shame, I'm not even gonna, I can't. I would die in my seat. So I was like, let me just pay for the whole thing, But I was just like, I ain't never gonna see this nigga again. Oh my God.
I don't mind if you have to use a voucher. Just don't let me see it. Like, is there a way you can do it where, like, I might go to the bathroom and you come back and then you're like, yeah, I got the bill, it's covered, don't worry about it. Like, there's ways you can do this, but don't let me sit there and then go, guess what? You can only pick the lunch menu because I've only got a voucher for the lunch menu. So anything around that, don't pick it because I can't afford it.
You didn't even tell me that, because then I would have been like, oh, you're that kind of guy. Okay, that's the thing is, listen, I'm easily pleased. It's not a problem. But he just wanted to pay half of a half. So regardless, it wasn't like he was trying to save money. He wanted to pay. Literally, babes, I swear to God, I walked away from that. Not only because he knew I drove and I parked, which meant I had to pay for my parking. He didn't have that consideration. So for me, it was like, if I know you're paying for parking or you're doing this and the other, like, obviously at the end of the day, I'm going to be like, babes, okay, don't worry, I've got the dinner. Like, let's just say hypothetically, you've got all of this stuff. I'm just going to get one little thing to help you out. This nigga, he was like, okay, babes, bye. Knowing I had to go and pay for my parking.
Yeah, I cannot.
You're too nice. I wouldn't even consider paying for dinner. Like,
you're talking about paying on the first date. I wouldn't have date this time. One time. This is when I first discovered dating apps, right? And I thought, oh, Carly's going crazy. Yeah. So, all right. So we had a phone call. Phone call was cool. Got on. There was a little vibe. I thought, oh, he's cool. He's like, yeah, let's meet up. Let's go out. I think we said just like for drink, right? So it wasn't anything major. So I've travelled into central London to meet this dude. I find him. He's got a jacket. He's got like a fur kind of jacket on, yeah. And whatever he's got on underneath, I can see your chest. I can see your skin. Okay. I saw your skin chest was out.
Your skin chest.
your chest skin, whatever. So first of all, that's what I was greeted with. So I said, all right, cool. All right.
Where's this, bro?
All right. All right. So anyway, so the place we were going in, apparently it was like packed or whatever. There weren't letting more people in. So I was like, okay, I don't know. Where do you want to go? He's like, oh, I know somewhere around here. So we've walked around the corner. We've gone into the worst bar you could have gone into. It was just like a dirty bar with loud, like, it wasn't even house music. It was like some dance trance music. Yeah, Kylie's probably crying on here because she's probably heard the story before. What is a skin chest? Skin chest is
when you see it.
When a woman has how my chest is out, how the girl's chest are out. He was trying to have his chest out like that too, which is not cool.
Skin his decolletage.
Already it's just going downhill. So we're in this bar, it's loud, you can't hear anything. So we're like, all right, let's go and find a table. So we've gone to the back, sat down. So imagine I'm sitting here, so he sat in front of me. There's a TV screen behind me with football playing. The whole time I'm sitting in front, he's looking over my head at the football screen. So I'm just like, cool. And this kind of place is like, it's not a place where you get waited on. You'd have to go to the bar.
Mm-hmm.
So then we were looking at the menu, and I'm like, okay, well, they do food here, but I'm not trying to eat here. It doesn't look decent enough. So I'm like, let's just get a drink. So we look at the thing. He tells me what he wants. So I wasn't sure. I was like, are you giving me your order or?
Wait. Take it back. Bring it back. He didn't wait. The motherfucker said, can we repeat?
He told me what he wanted. So the way I was so shocked, yeah. I had the menu and I was just staring at the menu, like having a whole conversation in my head. Like I couldn't understand what was going on. I'm like, did he just give me his order? So I don't like confrontation. I just thought, you know what? I'm here now. He's obviously an idiot. It's obviously this whole thing's failed. I need a drink now. Let me go to the bar. So I went to the bar. To get our drinks. Yeah, he sat there quite comfortably in his chair. Felt fine. He was fine. I know I started WhatsApping probably Emma, cussing in my WhatsApp. I was at the bar like, I can't believe what's happening. So so the drinks have come now. We're sitting at the bar, had our drinks. There wasn't really much conversation. I just hated his guts already. I just couldn't stand him. Hated his whole guts. And so drinks finished. So it's like, okay, I don't think I want another drink because I want to eat here. And plus, I've got to go to, I've got to meet my friends. I've made up some nonsense anyway. I just need to get out. So
we know your friends. We ain't gonna get your business, but we know your friends.
Listen, my belly was rumbling. I was so hungry. So we came out, and there was I went into the KFC. He was walking with me. You know, when I didn't even want to conversate with him, I'm like, you're walking with me. I'm like, I don't want people to see you with me. Like, so we're walked into KFC. So I'm like ordering whatever I wanted. Man's at the bar, at the thing with me, just leaning on the counter.
To say what?
And I'm thinking, is he again, this whole conversation happens in my head again. I wish I said a lot of this stuff out loud. I'm having this conversation again in my head. Like, why is he just jamming? Does he want me to ask him what he wants? Or I didn't, by the way, I didn't.
Yeah, because what happened to his order that he gave you at the bar? Did you just never?
No, I got it. I got the drink.
You paid for it?
I paid for it.
So he came looking like Usher, LL Cool J, and he couldn't even.
He came with his.
Right, you got your whole titties out. You better make them titties work for you,
he
sir.
Came with his whole thing. So all right, so we're in Kentucky, KFC. So I said, are you gonna eat? Like, because he's not saying, oh, let me get you whatever, let me get it. But anyway, I didn't. I could see people, Char, you didn't pay. Did you pay? Nah, you're a sucker. All right, guys, let me know.
Let her live. Let her live.
And learn my lesson. So anyway, so I'm like, are you getting food or? And he's like, no, I'm not going to eat. I'm like, all right, cool. Got my food. Walked out. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the station or whatever. So he's like, he's going to that station. I said, all right, I'll walk down. I thought, let me speak to this guy. So I'm speaking to him. So this, imagine, now I'm walking him to the train station. Now I'm walking him to the train station. So I walked to the station. That wasn't my station. So he didn't say, let me walk you to the station. I walked him to the station. He got on his train. And I was just standing there like, I feel like I failed at life.
Listen, in his defense, he needed you to walk him to the station because his skin chest was out. You get what I'm saying? He needed security. So relax. Okay, let that man live.
And you know what? Whenever I go out, like if I go to a club or wherever, I see this guy all the time.
He still be having his titties out.
I literally pretend like when I see him, the stink face on my face when I see him, it's just ugh.
That part.
And I pretend that I've never seen him in my life, and he stares at me every time he sees me. And my friends know him as well, so every time they know who he is, and they're like Char, and I'm like, just don't.
No, I need to be there the next time you see him because I'm gonna be like.
I'm trying to figure out, were you hot or cold? Because if your titties out, then why you got a fur on? What is this?
He had
like, like, who do you think you are right now?
I was so done. I need to. I'd have been like,
you know what? Listening to you guys, I've never really realized how different Americans are from Brits until this conversation. As much as we talk, like we talk every day, we talk every single day, and I always thought we were very similar, but I don't think any American woman would have gone for any. First of all, you can't whip out a coupon on our date. Like you just can't. You cannot. Sorry, is that a coupon? That would make me feel like you only picked this place because you had a coupon. And here we have something called a penny saver. Once a week, they just send you randomly in the mail just a book full of coupons. So there was no thought that you put into this at all.
Where are you going?
Number one. And then number two, that's the American basic level, right? But then the breed level of petty that comes in after that. Because if I would have ran into him at brunch, I'm like, you got a coupon for this too? If you do share, is this one on you this time since I paid for the last one? I would have told my servant, put this on him. He owed me one. I can't. My horror story. All right, my horror story is bad, but it makes it worse because this person ended up being my fiance. So,
oh jeez,
I know I should have left then, but it wasn't our first date. But let me just state for the record, he was very, very quiet. He was like unusually quiet. He was just a quiet man in general, which, I mean, it was weird for me initially, but I entertain myself. So you can just sit here and watch me talk to myself and then we'll just laugh together. Right? So we go out on this date and he's like very quiet, but it was a very nice restaurant here in DC, right? And I was like, oh, this might be a good one because I like this little spot. All right, cool. I've been there before. He's never been there before. So he's like, what should we do? Like, what's going on? Because this was like one of those 5-course meal restaurant situations, and they bring you like coffee and tea. So I had flipped my cup over because to me, or the way that we were taught, is if you flip your cup over on your saucer, that means you don't want any tea or coffee.
Yeah.
This thing said to me, why'd you flip your cup over? So I go to explain it to him, and he was like, oh, okay. So like, what's the layout of everything? Like, he didn't know the difference between a dinner fork and a salad fork, which, okay. I mean, it ain't the best, but okay, I can still work with you. He said to me, you sure do know a lot about a TK. And I said,
oh my God.
I said, who
you can't say that to me. You can't.
Who is that? Who is the TK? Is it a friend? I don't know. This purse, is it a book? I'm not familiar with it. So thank you for the compliment, but I have no idea what you're talking about. He was like, oh, like, you know a lot about like going out and the things that you should do and not do. And I was like, yeah. But again, my mind, like, I can't even fathom what he's trying to say. So I'm like, yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, my mom, you know, she raised me right, but who is a TK? Like I keep trying to like circle back to it. I'm like, who is a TK? He was like, you know, like stuff like when you go out, how you're supposed to be. And it finally dawned on me that he was trying to say etiquette, and I said,
it's almost as bad as no one.
Baby, listen to me. I was like, but listen, okay? I was so upset. Like, listen, for what it's worth, ain't nobody ever gonna talk me out of eating my food. So I stayed. I ate all of them courses, but as soon as I got by myself, I called my best friend. I was like, you are not gonna believe what this thing said to me. And then I don't know, he was just so nice. He was like very much a gentleman. He was like big, strong. So I felt like safe with him. He really was a gentleman. He knew how to like open doors, and you know, he was not the person who honked when they outside. He was a really good guy. And I was like, all right, maybe that was just a slip up, right? I should have known in my mind. You said it too many times with a big slip up, but still, I'm trying to like give him credit. And then it happens again. He was opening his mail. We were at his mom's house or something. He got like a random piece of mail at her house. And I can't even remember what the word was, but he had to ask me how to pronounce it. And I was like, you know what? This ain't my life. Nope. I'm not gonna be able to do this. This is not reading Rainbow. I'm your woman. I'm not your teacher. You should know how to read. Listen, if you were illiterate, why you ain't tell me that? We could work through it. I would have got you some books, hooked on phonics. Like you would have been up to speed by now, but we're not just gonna keep walking through life. And I got to go to these business dinners and take you with me. And you pointing at things on the menu you can't pronounce and asking me. No, sir. Listen, sir. But again, for all the shit that I'm talking, he ended up being my fiance.
Imagine.
I know. And him being illiterate wasn't even the reason why we broke up. So it's love out there for everybody is really the point of the story. Even if you can't read, even if you dating above your station, some dumbass will still love you despite. That's the moral of the story.
I've got another question. Not too different from this one, but what we've been talking about. But remember the other day when I was like, okay, we're definitely, because we've been trying to do this for a couple of weeks, and I was like, okay, we're definitely going on, but what are we going to talk about? And then Meena said, what about when you get the ick? And we were all like, sorry?
Yeah, we thought that was code word for a late night conversation. What about it?
I was like, I don't know if we can do that.
Yeah, you know, I heard something else.
Yeah, we did. But that shows you where our minds are, right?
We didn't hear something else. We thought you were trying to be polite.
Yeah.
Saying it, so you didn't have to say the words. That's what we thought.
But then ick is not okay. I hear you.
So, yeah, can you explain?
Like the same way when you say vagina, you're always like, "Ooh!" It's like we thought you were doing that.
Okay,
right.
I hear you. Okay, so basically, the ick is when you're dating someone and then they just do one thing and you can't unsee it, and then after that point, it's like if I have to envision kissing you, hugging you, being around you, it's like the ick, you know. And I guess it's the same for, I think it's more so for girls than it is for guys, but I do guess that guys have that. To be honest, I don't think guys care, but I think it's more for girls. Most girls would have gone through that point where it's like, I can't even see you in this way anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I was asking the ladies, have you ever see, Carly knows the ick. Carly said, I know the ick. Yes. Mm. So those, have you ever envisioned, like, when was the time that you remember you got the ick, and what was it based off of?
About 3 weeks ago.
What?
And you all know who I'm talking about, that I know.
The way that y'all have gotten personal on this thing and I'm not laughing. Go on.
You know what it is? I can't deal with that. Like, it's the first experience I've ever had of somebody who is vain. So, like, they're taking pictures of themselves in every situation, scenario, and from the moment they wake up to the moment they're shaving to the moment they're in the shower, then they're moisturizing their face, and it's all on WhatsApp stories for everybody to watch and see. Then they're cleaning their car, showing you the shoes, showing you the top. coming in the hair, where they're attempting to put braids in their hair, but it don't quite look right, so they keep on doing some foolishness where they brush their hair out to make it look a high top, but the high top don't look right. Yeah. Then they're doing full photo shoot in their car because the top goes down. So they want to. They're in a Boys to Men Jagged Edge video, and then they're now getting their nose pierced because they now want to look like Cisco. It's just a lot going on. Oh, and they previous pictures had their hair dye blonde, so maybe they are trying to look like Cisco. I don't know, but it's just a lot that.
Queendom whips out a book on you, Rachael. Nope.
Play dead. This is me playing dead.
First of all, you never keep talking about my friend like that. Okay, I done told you. That is my friend.
And this is over the vanity thing, but then they send you poems that don't make sense.
Oh, I love the poems though.
I love the poems too. They were better than Brandy's poems.
Really hard and you find amazing poems. That's what she said, okay? I can't.
She put it out there. Then we have a conversation before this, okay?
I don't care. I'm just over it.
Listen, it circles back
Rachael's
around.
Over
Nobody listens because that man is my friend. I like him. Okay, I don't want him to go anywhere. You gonna treat him right for us. He used to make our day.
Are we not talking about the here? We don't talk. The only reason he's still on my phone is because for you lot's entertainment. That's it.
I like him. He's great.
I do enjoy the poems.
Wait, what's your ick story? Stop reading and tell us your ick story.
My head is hurting.
I am done with Rachael forever. Forever and ever. Amen.
I've had so many ick stories where it's like, I just look at the person, I'm like, how the fuck did we get here? But I think most of it stems from like, I think there was a time quite a while ago where I'd gone out and, you know, like was chilling and whatever. And then basically, I think the person just got over comfortable and over familiar and kind of just like was going at me in regards to like my life and what I wanted. And bearing in mind, this is like the second time I've met up with them. And I was just like, okay, I don't want to. So basically, the way it was.
Let me go get a book now because y'all are so damn disrespectful. I knew we should have prayed before this. I said that. Let's pray.
Okay, so for me, I feel like sometimes I can look in people's eyes and I can see like an element of psychoness.
Mm-hmm.
In the moment where I see that, like I can see that. Listen, I think crazy people have a way of reading crazy people, and I know I got a bit of crazy in me. But when you are all the way crazy, like in that moment, my spirit is like, no, it just can't happen. And I think that happened to me, and I was just like, yeah, no, it's not the one. And I tried, and don't get me wrong, like with people that get the ick, you always try to like reevaluate and be like, look at the person. So I'll go look at their picture or
not look at their picture.
Or just stare at the picture.
Is he cute enough for me to be dealing with his crazy ass?
You know, I've done that in person. Like, have you ever stared at the person and been like, yeah, he's not actually that cute for me to deal with this?
You know, sometimes you be looking like, do you not think like, oh, and I'm like, I look and I try to unthink what I think has happened. If it's still in that moment where like they message me or they text me and I still feel like it,
and then you start rolling your eyes at the message.
I'm like, for fuck's sake, man, again.
And you know what? I'm gonna be that friend that we were talking about earlier because we all told you, okay? I'm gonna just leave that there. I said,
I was trying to be a nice person, and the thing is, ultimately, there's a lot of them that are nice people, But I just think that when people don't understand boundaries, that's when I get the ick. So with me, it's like, if you don't, can we not live in the moment? Can we not just enjoy what it is? And or people that try to play off. What gives me the ick is when, like I said, when you think that the reason why I'm not with you is because my granddad died in the World War II and I fucking lost part of my kidney giving it to some. I don't understand. Like, that's why I don't want to be. There's always a reason, but how about that? It is just about what I want right now and where I'm at. And I think when people try to push themselves onto me, I automatically get the ick. And that's as
But
much
do you think sometimes when it comes to the ick, it depends on the person that you might allow it to like just brush off? Like, it depends on how much you like them. Because I feel like there's certain things that we won't tolerate with certain situations, but if he checks all the other boxes, then you can kind of overlook it. Because for me, I can't stand somebody who eats with their mouth open. It just can't do it. Just can't do it. I don't think I could ever allow it, even with the guy that I like. It's just something that I can't do. But is there anything that's considered an ick to you that you might be okay with, depending on who it is?
Well, clearly illiteracy and mispronunciation.
Yeah, that's
I let slide. So
yeah, I think with me, sometimes I don't know until they do it.
Yeah.
Like once there was a guy who I was dating. I did think I liked him, and then but he kept he kept calling me my dear. Like, okay, blah 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 blah, my dear.
Was he 90?
Like, every time he said it, it was just like, why do you have to keep saying that? And it just annoyed me so much. Then after that, everything started to, like, the way he breathed.
Yeah.
Just literally everything was just annoying me. I'm just like, okay, I can't now. And I don't know if it was just that, but
do you know what I think it is? I think it's because women, we've checked out in our heads before we actually say it. So it could be one thing that he does and you've checked out, and then everything after that is like, I can't wait to get out of this, man, because I just can't deal with this. It's too much going on, like this and this, and it's just too much like piling up. Whereas I think sometimes with men, they overlook it and they're just like, it's not that bad. But for us, we just check out.
Let's be real, men are looking at the end goal. Even if they tap out mentally, sometimes they're like, I've been riding this out too long, let me just get it in and then call it a day. Whereas us, it's like, if my mental's tapped out, my physical ain't working. And I think,
can you say that louder for the people in the back that didn't hear you? Say it again. Say it with your whole chest, Weena. You spoke a word right there, sis.
My mental's tapped out. My vagina is not working.
You know what? We have this super ratchet show here called something hip hop somebody. I don't know the name of it. Anyway.
Love and hip hop.
No, it's about these couples that really shouldn't be together, and they go to the marriage boot camp. Marriage boot camp. All right. So the bald head guy, Dr. whatever black man, right? He was saying that for women, like, a date starts long before you even like pick her up. Like intimacy starts long before y'all take your clothes. And I was like, I don't understand. Is he the only one guy on earth that understands? Listen, you don't even have to be the one. You don't have to be the one we think we can see ourselves with forever. If you do right from sun up to the time it's time to go, like, for instance, homeboy that was drinking Rachael's green tea. Imagine earlier that day he sends her a text and he's like, I can't wait to see you. I'm so excited about our date. And then he shows up with some flowers that you can get from, I mean, don't do this if you can avoid it, but flowers you can get from any little grocery store, gas station. He shows up with that, you know what I'm saying? And he asks, you can get whatever you want off the meal. And I feel like, as a side note, if you can't afford an entire meal for the both of you, you need to get a side salad and let her get whatever she gonna get. But that's a story for another day. But anyway, so he texts her in the morning, he gets her these flowers, he pays for the date, you know what I'm saying? Like, she can get dessert, whatever. Oh, I'm not ready for the night to be over. Can I walk you to wherever you go? By the time he said that hotel after that, Rachel would have been like, yes, okay, yes, we can go to the hotel. But it's the guys who think, oh my God, I can't. I literally cannot.
It's about stimulating the mental. And I think what the issue I have with men is that one, it has to be organic, because I think women can, if you're reading a play and they say stimulate the mental and everything's like, oh shit, I need to message her at 9 o'clock and let her know, hey, I'm thinking about you. Like, we can tell off the energy. It just has, you have to have some kind of ownership and some kind of presence when you're around a woman. And I think if anything, more than anything, that's what a woman's attracted to. But then also it's like genuine conversation, genuine confidence. Because one thing really, a lot of the guys that, and sometimes I have to look at myself and be like, maybe you're attracting where you're at the moment, is that some of the guys that have come to me are not necessarily as confident as they should be. And that huge level of insecurity is not attractive to me, because it's like you're offloading your insecurities onto me. Now, just because I'm not stroking your ego the way you want it to be stroked, I'm not requiring you to stroke my ego. That's your choice. But because you're not getting the whole like, oh my gosh, baby, I can't wait to see you. Oh my gosh, baby, all of that shit. Yeah. No, literally, I like to say I'm going to be out in these streets. I'm not. I just don't want to be out in these streets with you at this point.
And close.
That's it. It's not a rude thing. It's just the reality is that we all have our journey. We all have to do the work that we need to do in order to be the fullest and the most confident and best version of ourselves. And that growth never stops. It changes with years, with months, with weeks. Whenever we reach one milestone, we create another one. And if you're somebody that continuously wants to grow, that's beautiful. If you're somebody that's happy to be complacent and in your current state, then that's entirely up to you. But I am not attracted to that. Like, that, if anything, gives me the ick. Somebody that isn't confident.
And it has
reassurance.
What you were saying about being natural, like, I genuinely think that if someone is just themselves and I'm just myself, if we don't gel, that's fine. We can be two great people that don't go together. That's fine. I don't like when, you know, when a guy will say, oh, what type of man do you like? Don't ask me that. Just be who you are.
Just be.
Because the moment I say I like funny guys, because I do in it, like I like laughing, I like stupid, you know, I like to laugh. The moment I say I like funny guys, then you're going to start telling me dumb jokes, and I can see, and I'm just like, it just gets annoying because I know it's not real. One time I told someone asked me, oh, what's your love language? And the thing is, I was impressed because, you know, that's my thing, innit? I love all of that stuff, love language, blah, blah, blah. Yes. So he asked me and I thought, oh, okay, so you know my thing. So I thought, okay, we've got something in common. Who told me to tell him, all right, words of affirmation? Then he started firing off all these affirmations. I'm just like, wait a minute. Like, you are amazing. You are powerful. You are. I'm just like I needed these on a post note or like on post-its to put around my room.
The thing is, even
like,
that, they're not even the words of affirmation we're talking about. They're just affirmations. Like,
exactly. I mean, he didn't even understand it.
Yeah.
He said that to impress me. He's probably seen me post it on Instagram somewhere. And thought, oh, she'll like this, and said that, and then you didn't even understand it because that wasn't it.
Literally, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm the kind of person, like, you know how you lot are with me all the time. You know how I just be coming out with them slide digs, them slide jokes. Like, I just run bands for days. Yeah? So obviously, I made this dead ass joke, yeah. And I can admit it was a dead joke. And the way the motherfucker laughed.
But you're funny though, Meena.
No, I knew that joke was dead. So I told him, like, he laughed like he was dying. Like, I was like, this is crazy. Like, you know when people are getting paid to laugh? Like, that's how I felt it was. Like, I said to him, this, you know, when you're in the audience and they got like laugh now. He was laughing so hard, and I had to look, and I was like, this isn't even funny. Like, I know it's funny, but it's not that funny. Like, but he was proper like holding his stomach, dying. In that moment, I was like, I fucking secured a psycho.
Listen, he had to do what he had to do to get him some vagina. I ain't mad.
A whole vagina, nah, bro. It's heaven. You know,
Richie says, I hope none of these men are watching. I hope they are watching.
No, they need to watch. They need to take the notes.
If you
I
ain't
hope
figured it out
they
yet,
are
we're okay.
watching. It would help them out a lot.
I think so I've been sitting here trying to figure out what my ick would be.
Lucan says, tell us a joke, Meena.
And if you laugh like that afterwards, I would have laughed too. Yeah, what is the joke?
Yeah, but you know what the worst thing is? Yeah, I can't even remember what the joke was, but it was like, imagine I was just like, yeah, you know, the chicken crossed the road because it was KFC or some shit like that, and I was like, and he was like, ha ha ha. I was like,
wait a minute, calm down, sir. Sir,
you know,
relax.
but with me, yeah, sometimes my face don't hide things. I'm like,
I'm gonna go ahead and head out. On that note.
After that, everything I saw was psycho, like crazy. I was looking at man's eyes. I was looking at the way he walked, and I was just like, no, he looks like he can kill me. Facts.
Wait, it went from laughing at the joke to his serial killer. Okay.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what I've come up with listening to you guys. I'm of the four. Again, for as much shit as I talk, I am the mushy.
Yeah.
I love, like all of the things. Like I'm definitely here for love at first sight, all of that. So it takes a while for me to get the ick. But two things. After I get it, then I'm all the way. Like I can't ever come back from it. Like almost to the point where I'm just saying, like I can't even keep you on as a friend because it's like you just. But the only thing that I came up with is when people, whoever you're talking to, gets too big for their boots, kind of situation. So a TK just happens to be a very, 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 listen to me, y'all. Oh, I wish my best friend was in here. She was literally type how unattractive this man was. Okay. He was just an unattractive man. Every time I would show him to someone, people were like, that's not your man. I'd be like, yeah, it is. One of my friends was like, don't have kids with him. And I was like,
wow, that's mean.
Listen, this man, I'm gonna show y'all a picture later, but I'm not kidding you. He was hard on the eyes. Okay, just hard, really, really hard. One of my friends, I literally had to warn. You have that friend who says whatever out of their mouth. Believe it or not, it's not me. I actually have a friend like that.
There's
and I had to warn her. I know. I had to warn her. I was like, all right, you gonna meet him for the first time. He ain't easy on the eyes. Just please don't say anything. And she was like, all right, I ain't gonna say nothing. He turned around. She was like, what is He was hard. Y'all listen to me. Quasimodo from Hunchback of Notre Dame. Just make Quasimodo a black man. And that was, yeah, he was hard on that. But I would always, because I'm a good woman, I would always say, oh, you look handsome today. Or like, like, oh, I'm so lucky to have you. Like, I'm that person in a relationship. Like, I'm a gas you until the end of time. Like, yeah, you with me, you all right? Now, okay? Take everything I just said to you, store that in the back of your brain. We were on the elevator once. It was just he and I, right? And a guy gets on the elevator and compliments compliments me to him. So he's like, oh, you got a pretty one there. Like, you lucky to have her, blah, blah, blah. He plays the game in front of the guy. He was like, oh, yeah, I'm lucky, blah, blah, blah. The man gets off the elevator. And this ninja had the nerve to say to me, oh, so you think you like that now, right? You ain't even the prettiest girl I dated. I said, bitch, listen, okay? Listen here, little ugly.
Excuse me?
You have taken it too goddamn far. Like, who are you talking to?
How you gonna say hey, little ugly?
It's like when you are like offended to the max. I'm a Leo, right? And I'm an only child. So with Leos, typically, like, we take a lot of shit. But once we feel that one insult, like we feel like we can pin against the wall, oh, we gonna claw our way out of that bitch. So I was like, who you can't be talking? Need I remind you, sir? Listen, baby, when I tell you I went in on him. So it's that. It's like the don't get too big for your boobs. Or I don't like people who show off in front of their friends or
we know a lot about that.
Try to like downplay.
I see Mina's eyebrow go up.
Baby, listen, okay, we here, right? So it's like if we talk all the time and we good, we vibe and blah blah blah, but women don't never know unless he's horrible and you just catch him saying it. But if he goes back to his friends like, oh, we just chilling, she ain't really that serious, she ain't really that important. Don't play the kid. You get what I'm saying? Like, you lucky to have me, little ugly, because I was an ugly one too. Like, listen to me. And we had this conversation that we got to stop dating ugly guys. It's like, if you risk your heart and heartbreak anyway, you might as well go for the Anthony Joshua looking ones. Because these ugly ones out here trying. I would rather get my heart broken by AJ
paid enough debt
than Quasimodo. So everybody just need
no
to calm down and stay in their lane. Just be whatever it's going to be. I like people who stand in their shit. So like you said, confidence, but not too much. Like, don't start smelling
not
yourself.
till you put someone else down.
That's what I'm
Be
saying.
confident, but don't put someone down for you to know.
That part.
Then you know you're ugly, because ultimately, if you got to put somebody else down to feel better, you're insecure, and that's what you don't want in a man. Because a confident man, regardless of what his exterior is, he's going to carry himself according to that. Like, he's going to know that, okay, cool, I might not be the most handsome guy in the world, but I know what I've got to offer, and I carry myself like that. And if I
was so shocked that he said that to me, because first of all, you lying. Because ain't nobody prettier than me dating your ass, okay? Ain't nobody prettier than me. I was like, listen, am I the baddest joint in the world? In my world, I am, right? Like, everybody should feel that way. But I get that there are different attractions, different people. I get that. Whoever your dream woman is not dating. You should thank me every day. You should wake up every day and make the sign of the cross in holy water on my forehead. And like induct me into sainthood for being here with your ugly ass, and the nerve of you. I was just so mad. I was like, what the? And you can't read, you ugly, and you can't read, and you quiet. Like, you doing too much. But when people are like, and
this is why men like that get excited, because, and not just you. Wow, what happened?
Okay, wait, I'm sorry, I'm frozen. But yeah, it's like we should talk about too how people present well on paper, and then how friends and family can kind of make you feel like you should be with that person because they present well. So he had a good job. He went to church, like everything on paper. Like, he would go to my mom's house, cut the grass, take her trash out, like without being asked. All of those things seem fine, but behind the scenes, he's illiterate, and well, in front of the scenes, he's ugly, but he's also insulting, like. So you just have to chill about pressuring people and saying like, "Oh, he's a good guy. Why don't you, marry him? Or you should be with such and such."
Where it's women seem to settle for a guy that he ticks off a lot of boxes, but the major things you can't get with. Whereas guys, it's the complete opposite. Like, I don't know what it is with us where we feel like if we don't have someone, we're gonna expire. So we just deal with whatever is available to us, and we don't seem to have the same free choice that a lot of men have where it comes to. Oh, well, she's not pretty, I just don't want her. Like, it's so easy for them to do that. For us, it's like, yeah, but he's really good. Yeah, but you don't. It's like always these things.
We reason we gas the guys up. I just like, let's be real, because I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know I have Captain Save-A-Ho tendencies. So I'll be going into situations like, I'm gonna rejuvenate your whole life, and I'll be like, okay, like, let's get it together. Even my ex, like, the way he used to dress. If I tell you his swag when I first met him. Now, obviously, we're talking about like 2019 compared to now. Obviously, it's a big difference. But at the time, I was still fashionable. Okay. So, energy, even the way he would interact with people, like, obviously for who he was or what he was trying to do, but like giving out too much information, like, I proper like was like, okay, let's get it together. Like, I took him shopping. I like set up his socials. I did his dissertation. Imagine, I didn't even study the subject he did. And obviously, when he gets to a position where when he gets to that place where he can make a decision, then obviously they're more likely to turn around and be like, well, you're not all that. And then I'm like, first and foremost, I definitely am. But I know the only reason why that you're saying that is because I put myself down. Do you get what I mean? I put myself down to match you at your level. Hence, when you look at me and be like, well, no, I've now surpassed your level. But you didn't really know that I'm still 10 steps ahead of you. I just brought myself down to bring you up to where I was. And that's the problem with, I think, a lot of women. Sometimes we do set ourselves up for failure because we're out here basically killing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
There's a term for it. We become fluffers, so we're preparing them for the next woman that they will potentially leave you for, who is better than you because you've put them up to the same level as you. So they now feel like they can get any woman that's above you rather than the woman that's on their level. And you see it happen with like music artists. Sometimes they get money, they blow, they go for a girl that's completely out of their range because they now can afford her. Whereas when they were broke, they would never ever lay eyes on her. They knew they had nothing to offer her. Now they have money and they think it's status. They're just like, okay, let me go get one of these girls, not knowing that these girls know what you're about and they're just going to use you for everything that you have.
100%, but you see, God, yeah, even though we're like, obviously my life was like a bit at a standstill at the time, when I looked at the upgrade or the potential,
I've seen the upgrade and it's not an upgrade.
I was like, you know, when you have to laugh, I was like, you know what, good. This is why, because you didn't know who you were, as in I didn't know who I was. So that's why God kind of protected me from that, because I don't know how I would have been able to handle it if it was like you know what I mean, a whole book. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of the time, women, we don't rate ourselves enough. We don't, because we are taught to cater to men. We are taught to
to get chosen.
To be chosen. Like if a man pick you, there's a problem with you. But most of these men don't even know what wagwan for themselves. And these are half-built men because a lot of them are coming from their own traumas and their own experiences. And I'm meant to go in, who's also been skewed in my mindset of how I should love myself. And I'm only really truly loved if I receive a man's love. And I'm going to go in and fix a man. And then when he decides to walk away because that's what I'm built on, I'm then in pieces again to go out again to look for another man. It doesn't work that way.
I think it's
another man to fix.
About us not knowing our worth and our value, because if we did, we would require more in order to get what we want. And a lot of women don't set these boundaries and standards which would make men have to meet them at them. If tomorrow we all said that men had to read a certain book before they ever got sex again, relationships again, marriage again, they would all go out there and read that book because they want that. And because some of us are very much so like, well, you don't need to have much. Come and get this. I'll cook for you. I'll clean for you. I'll do all this for you. I'll just give you everything. Then that's what you're going to say. And it's the saying, like, why buy the cow when you can have the milk for free? It's that kind of saying of there's so many women that are playing wifey at girlfriend status. And some of them not even at girlfriend status. They're at phone call end status where you pick up the phone and hello, are you free? Okay, I'm coming. That's what it is.
The problem, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be controversial. I think the problem lies with women when it comes to that, because amongst ourselves, even though I know how you amazing women are, there are a lot of women that we don't hold each other up to a certain standard, in the sense where there are women, because we've been conditioned to seek and be that pick-me girl, we're willing to undercut another woman to get to that. You understand? We've been pinned up against each other. And until we come with a new rhetoric and be like, do you know what, at the end of the day, we're going to hold each other down. We're going to require a certain level of commitment or a certain level of, stature when a guy approaches us. Men will then have to abide by that. But the reality is, men have the pick of the bunch, because we can be like, okay, you know what, I need you to be this kind of way, blah, blah, blah. And then a man, and he goes around the corner and you got little Susan just like, babes, you want me to cook you little curry goat and rice?
Right.
The garden peas and rice.
Yeah.
Garden peas.
You know what's interesting? Have you ever been to a house party or like a drink up, right? And there's single guys in the room and there's single girls in the room. Watch how the women move in the room. It's very interesting to watch, because you will see who's kind of desperate for a man, who's trying to undercut each other to get this man, especially if there's a guy in the room that's like the one that everybody wants. They start playing Hunger Games. They start doing the most to just get this guy's
Hunger
attention.
Games. I volunteer as tribute. Sorry. I just had to sneak that in there.
What is it?
Remember that time when we was on the live and that guy said that he went to a house party with this girl and there was another girl that approached him, and he loved the energy of her because
yes, I remember that foolishness.
She wanted him, and it was like, what's going on here?
Do you know what?
breathe.
I would never respect a man that puts down another man to get the girl that he wants. Would I ever respect, and it's the same thing, would I ever respect a woman that puts down another woman to get the man that she wants? Be who you are, in your full chest, full confidence. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you're that bitch, despite the fact that he's with a girl, yeah, he would have seen your aura and you'd have been like, listen, go handle your business. When you're single, then come find me. But I ain't giving you out my details because you got a girl.
No, that's triggering me. This is triggering me.
These men get gassed up because the only reason why she's probably hollering at you is because your girl was way buffer than you were, and she's
Carly, can you stop with the names?
Who is Victor, Carly? I just saw it. Who is Victor? Okay. Victor, you in here? You trash? Victor?
Oh, doing up lifestyle.
That's what the guy said. Remember?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's his name.
It's the only reason why a good-looking girl with insecurities, may I add, will holler at someone that has a man is because the girl holler at a guy that has a girl is because your girl is buff. And she needs to understand what you've got going on to secure this buff thing. It's not about you. I'll be real, it's not. Because she could have seen you down the road at Tesco's and she ain't checking for you.
And she wouldn't, yeah.
I don't know if y'all brought this up to trigger me or what we're doing here, because we've had this conversation several times about certain somebody or certain somebodies, and I'll never understand. It's like you're put in a position where if you are a Black woman who says anything and speaks your mind and says exactly how you feel, you can be perceived as bitter, angry, all of those things. Yeah. But then do you sacrifice that to be a doormat? And it's like, I don't need anybody to ever speak for me, but you guys are very familiar with the situation. But I would just want to ask, like, why in your right mind do you feel like this behavior is okay? Like, who didn't you get love from as a child for you to feel like you need to go after somebody else's man? Like, knowingly, it's one thing when you have a trash guy and he doesn't, let on that he's in a relationship. But when you know that two people are in a relationship or two people are talking and you still go at, it's like, listen, and y'all know me, I'm always ready to fight.
When the girl has nothing on you.
Yeah.
Say that again for the people in the back.
They're the ones that are gonna offer a lot more. Like they'll be like, "I'm gonna bust it wide open." I'll be real. Like,
listen. All of that stuff makes sense to me. Yeah. I understand that it's the insecurity and all of. I get that it could be trauma. I get all of that. But at the end of the day, it's disrespectful to me. And now you have a problem with me. So it's too much. Just like Rachael said, if you walk into a room and you're confident about who you are and you just let your feminine energy speak for itself, then the guys will come after you. But like, just why are you being thirsty, number one? And then why are you being thirsty after somebody else's man? Like, why would you be okay with a piece of a man? What did Monica tell y'all on the verses? Sideline.
There's a lot about the person.
I don't understand that. But it'll always be like, if you ever were to approach the other woman, then it'll always be, oh, you fighting over a guy. Forget the guy, because listen, if you could take him from me, he was never mine to begin with. But you have disrespected me, and that is a problem. That will always be a problem. And I don't have respect for women like that.
Especially if the woman knows you.
In
your face, like she's your friend.
I turned the fan on so my roots wouldn't get hot. But baby, as soon as y'all started talking about this, I got quiet. I was like, let me not.
She's rooting for you two to win. Like, she wants you two to win. You're so cute together. Oh my gosh, your
relationship goals. That's the one.
Baby, listen, okay? I was not trying to get personal. I listened to y'all tell y'all personal stories and I just sat here and laughed. But that shit right there triggered me. My roots are hot. Okay? I'm ready to crack my knuckles now. Like, it's just like, why? All of these guys, and maybe I'm gonna say this really god awful thing, but if we are speaking truthfully, then it is what it is. I get that some women, the four of us included, have more options when it comes to guys than other women. I get that, but I don't. No matter what you look like, no matter what you have, no matter what you do for a living, the bare minimum you should want for yourself is respect. And it has to, you have to show your own self-love and respect yourself before anybody else can. So even if, which you never will, but even if you manage to get any man of mine, okay, that's for a night. He's still gonna come back to me, and I have the choice to say, nah, fam, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Like, why don't you have that in yourself? Like, it's, I don't know. It's what Weena was saying earlier about, like, there's a validation that comes with, oh, I got a man. Like, but
I got a pretty girl. It's not over the guy. It's
if they've seen the girl, they look up to the girl or they admire the girl, and the fact that she's with this person, they're now interested in this person because she's in. That's the reason she's got him.
I'm gonna say this to y'all one more time. I fight, okay? Like, I don't have time for whatever mind games you want to play, whatever fuckery you want to do. Leave me out of it. Like, leave me out of it. I don't understand. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is in these Holy Ghost streets. I mean, I think it's weird too. The same people who say things like, "Why are you single?" or, you know, some women are so insecure. Why don't they just leave? They'll be the main ones with the husband sheet. Just like Cardi B today. Announced her divorce, but in your song, you was like, I don't cook, I don't clean, I still got the ring. Like, you're bragging about that, and that'll make somebody feel some type of way. Like some woman who's like, oh, I'm not married. Cardi B is married. Like, I feel some type of way. But you getting a hold of boy, and he been cheating on you this whole time. So you have to know your own self-worth. You have to respect yourself. You have to love yourself before you can get into a relationship with somebody else. And then once you do all of those steps, don't accept anything less from him. So don't you bring your broken ass over here trying to fuck me up. Like, we zen over here. We zen like, who was it? Rachael? We zen over here. We got our shit together. So you can't come over here being ready. You don't have to have all the money in the world. You don't have to have all the looks in the world, but you have to be mentally and emotionally stable and available. Period.
Amen. Amen. I can't believe we've been here over 2 hours, guys. I've never done over 2 hours.
I mean, this is like a regular chat for us.
I was about to say, we're 3 hours shy of our normal time. We have to talk about, this is so much fun doing this with y'all. Like, for real.
No, it's really good. I'm so glad that we're doing it all together. I'm not sure whether to go into another question or not. I don't know.
What's the question?
Is it okay to date more than one person?
Oh, yeah.
Next question. You have to. You are single. Listen, so to bring it back around, why are you single? For me, single means I'm not married. So I can have a boyfriend. I could not have a boyfriend. I can be dating 49 people. All of that is still considered single to me until I'm married. So you gotta date.
I've always said this. If you're in your 20s, I encourage you to multi-date, because you need to understand what you like and what you don't like, and you're not going to find that in one person. So you have to be able to figure out what you don't like, what you do like, and then it also helps you as a woman figure out who you are and what you can and cannot deal with as a person. So if somebody shows up to you in a certain way, can you deal with that energy, or can you deal with that personality? If you ask for the certain type of guy you want and it's presented to you, are you ready for that type of guy, or does that actually show up in the way that you like it? It gives you options and a better understanding of what's available, but then also the kind of person that you are. Plus, like we said, until there is a commitment made, what are we talking about here? Like, what are we doing? You can't put restrictions on me about what I can and cannot do, and then you're out here doing the most. Like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's what people do as well. That's how people end up in situationships, when you don't have any commitment, but yet someone else is giving you restrictions on what you can and can't do. And especially if you're just dating, dating is collecting data, and you're just getting to know. It is. Sorry, that was not even mine. That one came from Bishop. He says that all the time. It's collecting data.
Well, praise him then.
So that one, I got that one from Bishop. It's collecting data, so collecting information about that person to know whether you want to move forward with that person. Yeah. And I mean, some people, it might be difficult to meet one person and then meet another person next week. Some people can't do that. So if you want to do that one at a time, that's absolutely fine. But I don't think there's anything wrong with going on a date with somebody, going on a date with somebody else, because I don't see there's anything wrong with that. But I would say, like, if I look into my past, like past relationships and how I got into relationships, it would literally be the guy that's just onto me the most. And I'm not necessarily looking at him and saying, do I want this person? Does he meet what I need? And I didn't do any of that. It was just like, oh, he likes me. And that was it. Do you know what I mean? Until he messed up.
We have to look at it for what it is. This is I know I said it before, but this is like Hunger. It's a competition out here, right? If I've got 3 guys and one of them is showing up for me and checking boxes more than the other ones, and I'm sorry, he's gonna win. The other 2, why would I choose them? Like, it's just the way it goes, because I need women to understand that we are the choosers. We make the decision of whether we want to be with someone or not. So if you have options available to you, and the one that's not ticking your box is the one you choose, you set yourself up for failure. I don't know why you bothered. If there's someone who's showing up for you in all the ways possible that you need to show up for, then you choose him.
Lucan, where's the lie though? You're not gonna show you back? Yeah, we do.
No, I don't.
So what, Lucan?
I have to pay 50%, half of half, bro. Don't get it.
I'm about to say I show up for the no coupon days, but whatever.
No, but I think it's important. Like, one thing I didn't do is I went into a relationship from young till all of my 20s. So I had a 10-year relationship. I didn't date beforehand, and I only started dating after that. So from 19 to 29, 30, that was a relationship with no private dating. And it was based off of, like Char said, oh, he likes me, he's been consistent, I can open up to him, he's around me, he makes effort. But I wasn't in a position where I was dating other guys to weigh it up. Do you get what I mean? And coming out of that, like, now I would multi-date, simply because I think it's important, one, for me to understand what I like and what I don't like, but also to understand what versions of myself I'm willing to give out. Because I think a lot of the time when you're not at, like, I'm not in those vicinities or in those areas where I'm communicating with the opposite sex on that basis. So when I'm dating, I'm seeing a part of me that I don't always show to everyone. And it's important that I also know what trigger points I have and what makes me comfortable, and a lot of things that I can then take forward into a healthy relationship at the time when I'm ready. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
If a 10 out of 10 comes tomorrow, I might change what I'm saying.
I'm about to say, you know how I feel about putting it in the universe. So
I mean, I'm hoping that I meet my husband. I don't want to marry him like today, but I'm hoping like soon, because I want time to get to know him. But ultimately, I think that a lot of women are deterred from multi-dating. It's normal for men to be out in these streets living their best life until they settle down and secure that one and only. And even then, it's probably like, she's the real one, but I can slide in the DMs of this one and that one and the other. Whereas with women, if you're dating a lot of guys, people view you as either you're out here banging all of those guys. One, ain't nobody got that much time on their diary. There's not enough space in the day. And then on top of that, the fact that we're just out here just taking from other people. Like, I think there's so much negative connotations against the woman who chooses to date other guys. Take me out.
Yeah.
But you
tell
guys,
other guys that you're dating, like, if you're dating more than one guy, would you tell that guy that you're multi-dating?
Yeah.
If he asks.
I would say I'm dating other guys. I have to, because I think a lot of the time, because of the personality I have, I think sometimes people, I genuinely am, like, personable, and I can and I make that person feel like it's us, because that's just me, like, in general. And I think I have to always establish that, you know, where I'm at is I'm here. I'm in the position right now where I'm dating just because I'm trying to understand what I like, and I'm not trying to settle down at this point, just trying to get to know people. Have to reiterate that. Now, do they listen?
Nope. They don't listen to you. No, they don't listen to you.
And I'm like, I have to say 100 times. I even had a conversation last night with someone where I had to just reiterate in black and white, like,
I bet you I know who it is.
We all know who it is.
Well, snap. I had to do the same, but
literally, I was like, I don't know what else you want me to say. I can't change what I'm saying because you want me to. I just don't have the ability right now to be that person. And God forbid, if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd expect the same person to say that to me. But I just think with me, I'm one of them people, if you tell me once, I ain't asking again. If you say, babes, it's not that for me, I'll be like, all right, cool.
Right. But I think the important thing that all of us kind of just said to summarize is that like Char said, dating is collecting data, but that doesn't just mean on the other person. That means you learn stuff about yourself too when you are dating people. So even if Richie put something on her story one day, and I'll never forget it, it said, every date isn't going to lead to relationships, but at least you'll know where a new good restaurant or something is. Like, I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but for as funny as it was like, yeah, it really is just about the experience though. Like, I mean, it's about going out, having fun, meeting new people. And in that, you learn the things that you like and the things that you don't like. I learned a lot about myself through dating other people. Like, there are some things that I do that I thought were completely fine until I saw it in somebody else. And I was like, oh, that's annoying as hell. Mental note, let me stop doing that. So, yeah, I mean, this thing called life it's a crazy thing. It'll have ups and downs, but you just go with it. And some people are lucky enough to find a love that lasts forever. Some of us have to just keep going through and hopefully we'll find the one. And then some people are just meant to be single. And all of those options across the board are 100% okay if you claim it, if you go with it. So just because you're married doesn't mean it's going to be successful. Just because you're single doesn't mean you're horrible and miserable. So just own your shit, pretty much.
And dating is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be interesting. It's not supposed to be a chore. It's supposed to be something that you actually enjoy because you're getting to know somebody or getting to connect with somebody. It should never feel like, oh, I got to go on this date. Like, it shouldn't feel like that. I think a lot of women that I speak to are missing the excitement of dating. Like, there used to be a time where if you had a date, you couldn't wait to get dressed, shave your legs, do your makeup. Like, you was getting prepared 2 hours before because it was just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go out with this person. And I think now it's like, oh, he's FaceTiming me.
That's because they showing up with vouchers and eating your food and drinking your tea. Don't nobody want to do that shit. I'll stay in the Netflix and chill. I'm good.
I think it's difficult as well if both of you are going at different speeds. So say that you've gone on a one date, and he's really, like, beforehand, he's already kind of made up his mind that he wants you. It's not even like, I'm going out with this girl to get to know her. In his mind, he wants you. So that's what this date is about. I'm going to get you.
But how do you
really stop?
Because the way that y'all telling personal stories, I was not here. I can't. My poker face is just not together today.
And I might enjoy the date. It was great, nice time. But then it's like you get these little hints. Yeah, so like, I'm not speaking to anyone else anymore. I'm dead.
That's your choice. Sorry.
Oh. Yeah, I've deleted my dating app. Okay. You know, sometimes you just moving at a different pace. And it's stressful because you want to be nice. You know what I mean?
No, but then at the same time, I always say it's crazy. Like, I don't care if a woman or a man goes into a date and says that shit. You're moving mad because now you want a relationship. You don't care about who it is with. You don't care about the person. You're going because you want a relationship.
Why can't you guys accept that you guys are amazing? No. And it would be totally easy to fall for each of you. And maybe he really did love you.
But we understand that. That's a given. What we're trying to say is,
okay,
don't marry me off before I said yes. Like, don't marry me off before I said I do. Give me space to decide if I want to be in this with you, because they've got to the point where they're like, yep, we're going to buy a house tomorrow. We're going to have 2 kids. We're going to have a dog. And it's like they've made up in their head like what the future looks like. But how do you know if I want to have kids yet? We haven't had that conversation. How do you know what area I want to live in? We haven't had that conversation. In your mind, you figured it all out.
Yeah, because you are supposed to be like what society feels like women are supposed to. Every woman, of course, wants to be a mom. Every woman, of course, wants to get married. So if I'm telling you I want to give you this stuff, you need to hop on board.
It's
That's what they're
interesting because
thinking.
if any of you watched Love at First, was it Love is Blind?
Love is Blind.
Yeah,
And
I
remember
did.
the guy that's with Lauren, the white guy that's with Lauren, the black girl?
Yeah.
Everybody
Cam.
loved them. And there was a moment when I was like, I don't like him. When he was like, I bought this house and I just can't wait to fill it with a wife. And in my head, I was like, so does that mean you just want every woman in the house? Because it didn't sound like they would
Men
be
do that.
in the house together. It was like, I bought this house and I just need a wife in it now. And then when she got to the house and she's looking around and he's like, do you like it? She's like, it's nice. You know, are you open to moving? He was just like, nope, this is the house I bought because I want it. He was so adamant like this was the house they were going to be in. And what was interesting, a lot of women were like, that's so romantic. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And I was like, red flag, because it seems like if you're not willing to be in this house, don't worry, I'll find someone else who will. And it doesn't matter what kind of woman she is. It's just, I got to fill this place in this house because I bought this house. And I find that scary.
I think men are like what Char was saying. I genuinely think men are like that. Women, like men have to be in a position to be like, right now, where I'm at, I can see my life with a woman. Okay. Now, it doesn't have to be personable in a sense where it's like that she's like, she's a good woman, got a job, she can hold down a household, blah, blah, blah. Whereas in that moment of you meeting me, like I need to feel it more. For a woman, it needs to be a bit more personable. Now, obviously, as the relationship sort of progresses, that like you get to know each other individually, and then that becomes the forefront of your decision making. But a man can only date in that way if he is physically ready and has that space in his life for a wife or for a girlfriend. But I think what's irritating is when a man goes out and that is his forefront of dating me. So just because you know in your mind where you're at right now is that you want a woman, don't make it be like, I just met you yesterday and I can already see you as my wife. No, it doesn't. That sounds crazy to me because one, you're seeing the psycho side of me. So I might be a crazy bitch. And then all of a sudden you're trying to wife me up and then I'm out here just stabbing people. You don't know.
Like he's gonna love you through that, right? It's so hard for me to listen to you. Like half of it makes sense. I get it from the stories that you guys have told me, but the other part of me is like, oh, but my great grandparents met and were married 2 weeks later, and they were married to their son.
That's a different climate, though.
1920s.
Climate is completely.
The climate is different. I'll give you that, but it's not to say that two people still couldn't do it. So even for the example that you used with Lauren and Cameron, they're still together, happily married. So listen, you just gotta find somebody whose crazy matches your crazy. Period.
And that's not.
Because I remember reading this thing where it said that a lot of men, when they get married, they don't marry the woman of their dreams. They marry who's available to them, because the woman of their dreams, when she was ready, he wasn't ready.
There's truth in that too. I just want to believe in my heart of hearts that when I come to London and run into AJ at the Tesco, he's gonna see me and be like, "It's her," and I'll be like, "It is." It's me.
Right, that's me and Char when I go to Afro Nations and I see Chris Brown. Char's gonna be
no, not him. When he need a bath. We talked about this. He needs a shower. No, no.
No.
How are you calling yourself a whole baby mama without even saying wife first? Like, calm down.
I don't need to be a wife.
Listen, we didn't know what she want from that man.
Yes, you do need to be a wife.
It's just like, I don't need to be a wife.
All right, you said it with child number 3. And become a whole
that is her boo. She does not care if she baby mama. If they don't never make the baby, they just practice. If he hired her to be a maid around the house, Meena don't care as long as she be in proximity to that dirty looking man.
Oh, dirty. Why would
he look dirty? Next question. Is there any more questions? I'm gonna keep saying he look dirty. He need a shower. Go on.
There's one more.
Okay,
we have to keep it short. We've been on here for 2.5 hours already.
It's been, I can't believe how long we've been on here. All right, last one. All right, we encourage men to get in touch with their emotions, like nowadays, but how much is too much?
Too much.
Any man that's more emotional than me is too much, because y'all know how emotional I am. So I'd be like, sir.
I'm emotionally unavailable at the moment. So anything that is more than what I have, I can't. Like, I can't. Do you know what the thing is? As a friend, anything is acceptable. I will take anything on friendship vibes. As my male friends, if you need me, you need to cry, whatever, I've got you. But in a relationship, my thing is, if your emotions are attached to me on the dating tip as early as it is, nah, bro, it's too much, bro. If we're in a full blown like together, babes, whatever, I've got you. Cry. I'll probably cry when I see you cry because that's just me. Like if someone I love cries, I'm crying with them. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. However, if I'm dating you and then all of a sudden you're doing like sniffle nose, I've gone out 2 dates with you and you're saying I'm gonna break your heart or I'm gonna hurt you, all of this stuff. I can't.
I just we just gonna keep going with the personal stories or
I have no personal story.
I feel like Rachael, I know what Rachael's is not, and listen, she gets poems and she is not with the shit. So Rachael is very much like, nah, you showed me too much emotion, I'm out. What you mean?
You know what it is?
What
It's
are those?
It has to be genuine. It can't just be like for play. And
To
I feel
impress,
like like if you're doing it to just try and win me over, then that's not going to work for me because it's not genuine. If you're going through something genuine, like say a family issue or something that's really happening, you need someone to talk to, I'm here. Like I'm the friend that you need to talk to, I'm here. But don't do it because you now feel like I'm going to feel softer towards you and I'm going to feel more open towards you because you're showing a side that I haven't. Like, no, that's not going to win me over. Like, I just need genuine energy. That's all it is. So you writing poems to me that don't make sense.
First of all, they make perfect sense. You're not gonna keep talking about my friends. They make perfect sense because no one does it like my friend. Period.
No one.
That's it.
Listen, all I'm saying is, if you're gonna send me a prayer, make sure that it's grammatically correct with spelling.
So you know what? Sometimes you say things with an underlining meaning.
Right. Tell her, Meena.
As in my person.
The only reason the number is still on my phone is because it's you lot. I have no connection
our
with
friend
person.
We love him and we miss him. We love him and miss him. Thanks.
He's not getting nothing from me. Like that's the end of that. Yeah, I'm a person that if you're being genuine, like it's a genuine conversation. Like I've been on a date and the guy told me like when he was young he had leukemia and all this stuff and it got quite like sad, but it was a genuine conversation. Like we was talking about illnesses and he told me his story. And I've been on dates. I'll date this guy where he actually got shot and he told me the whole story. So I can relate to the emotional stuff. But what you're not going to do is try and win me over with this emotion now because I'm now in a vulnerable space with you. Like, no, we're not doing that.
I was gonna ask you if that was the guy with the puffer jacket, but I'm not gonna ask.
Who?
The one that was dressed like it was Antarctica and the White Walkers were here, but it was like the dead of summer.
You know what? You know what? You reminded me of is it Lauryn Hill? What's that song? Something about the
X Factor.
Yeah,
that's the one.
Oh, it's so simple.
Yeah, and the lyric that she says, "You hurt yourself to make me stay." Like,
yeah.
Oh, that part.
When they act so hurt that because you still got love for them, but you know that it has to end. Because they're hurt, you'll stay because we're fixers, aren't we?
The whole thing of like, oh, you know how the relationship is with my mum, and you know that I have a problem with
all of that
in my life, and I look at you as someone with so much potential and amazingness. It's just like, what?
I said to you, this is why I have tendencies of Captain Saberho, because the reality is, I know my heart is soft. Like the other day when I was out, okay, I told you, and there was a guy I was talking to, and he had like some scars on his face, and he was like, "You don't know the life I live." And in the moment, I was like, "No, tell me about it. I get it from the ends, like da da da." And I found myself getting drawn into that because I think people.
Pause. This was a boat party, guys. You're supposed to be partying.
And she's like, tell me about it. Let me
I was like,
know.
I'll put what you want in, and like, you know, having a conversation and whatever. And I was just like, you know what, we've been there. And I find myself like I have that endearing or caring part of me. A lot of my heart is caring. That's why I have to separate that from dating, because I find that when I open that aspect to dating, I'm just going to be with any Tom, Dick, and Harry. If the nigga tries one time, that's me. I'm sold. I'm like with you for life. Whereas now I have to be heartless when it comes to dating, but when it comes to friendship, if you want to be my friend, I always tell guys, even when I'm like, listen, I can't offer you this, but I am a dope friend. And
I
they're
don't
like,
want to be with you, but
No guy wants to hear that, Meena.
at all.
but I say it because I know when it comes to friendship, I've got you. Like, you're crying in the middle of the night. You want someone to pick you up. You need money. I'm that friend. But when it comes to relationship, I have to separate. I can't be that in an emotional relationship because I always feel at a disadvantage because I already know how much I give. I give way too much too soon. So a lot of people who have dated me probably think I'm a heartless bitch. But I have to be this way just because I need to protect myself. And I already know that I'm just not emotionally ready.
But I think sometimes you have to be careful with the friend zone or that type of energy, because remember how you met this guy. He met you in an interesting way, like he wanted to, not interesting way, he met you with interest in a more romantic or sexual way, whatever it is. His intention wasn't friendship. So sometimes waiting for that door to open along this friendship,
waiting for that vulnerable moment.
that vulnerable moment when you need a friend and then it becomes something else, or they feel like they're the one for you and all this stuff. That's why sometimes for me, if it's not gonna be what it is, then I don't need no new friends. I'm sorry, we're not doing that. Like, I just
Come on,
because I know the intention you had when you met me. Now it's different if I say I work with you or we in the same industry and we're getting to know each other, and then you tell me, you know what, I really think you're dope and I'd love to pursue something with you, and I say, do you know what, I've never really seen you that way. I would rather it be not that. Then that's different because you work around each other and you can still do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like if a guy meets you, say meets you on the road at a club or something, his intention is not to be your friend. That's not why he's talking to you. That's not his intention. No guy goes, oh my gosh, she was actually be a really great friend. Like, no one does that. But when they speak to you and they're talking to you and you're like, can we be friends? He's thinking in his head, right, let me show her what kind of guy I am, because then the moment she gets vulnerable, the moment she leaves that little space open, I can jump in. And that's where it becomes a bit sticky when you have that whole conversation about can men and women be friends. Some can. I've got male friends that I would never, ever, ever go there with. But can I say the same for them? I don't know.
That's a topic for a whole nother day.
That's a whole new situation.
Do you know what I mean? Man then won't come. I always say with friend zone areas, or like a woman has to open the door. Like, that always has to be a possibility in the back of her mind that she could be with this guy in that way. Because most friends will play their position until you open the door. Now, I have a lot of male friends, and I would say 99% of my male friends would never dream of undressing me.
You are giving them too much credit, babes.
I don't know what
entirely too much credit.
99%. Do you know what?
Are they gay? That's the only way, because you think that, but you get naked in front of them one time and watch how shit change.
Like, I mean, but ultimately, the only reason I say that is because I think with most of my male friends, I've had them from like young, like the ones that I would call my
that
friends.
Makes it worse.
I was going to say that doesn't matter
because they've seen how you grown up.
Fantasy world do you live in?
They've seen you. Do you know what's interesting? I remember a guy who's like one of my closest friends, and we went out one time, and he said, "Whoa, you look like a woman." And it's like, I've known you for years. What do you mean? And something about how I was dressed, the way I was at, clicked for him, and he looked at me in a completely different way. That's how it is with guys that you've grown up with. They may look at you as the homie, whatever, but then one day they might see you in one outfit, and it's like,
the door.
No, you don't have to. They can linger until
the door doesn't need to
break you down. It can take that one day when you haven't even realized you've opened the door because you're vulnerable and you're in it. You don't even realize you've done it.
Because remember that
Remember,
time in
he's your
Love and
good friend.
Basketball where Q and Monica were just friends, and then
They
she
were-
messed around and wore that dress to the dance. Damn girl, ain't no Nike made dresses, and boom, he hit it that night. This is what I'm saying. Watch your behind, Weena, is all I'm saying. They've been looking. They just been playing it chill.
Yeah, that happened to me with a really good friend, and I genuinely just thought this is just platonic completely. I was so comfortable around him. We were working on music and stuff. Like we used to have rehearsals at his house and everything like that, like his mum's house. And I used to do things like I might sit on the floor and he might be sitting on, I don't know, a chair or something, and I would like lean on his arm, lean on his leg and whatever. And I'm thinking nothing of it. And then one day he was just like, like kind of said, I think we should. And I was just like, why? Do you know what I mean? I was so shocked. He was like, no.
Why?
He was just like, oh, I thought you like, because you always just like lean on me and all that. I was like,
See, this is the thing. I mean, I will just base it off of the guy, like my male friends that might go through are just hoes. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they would just be because it was available. But the ones that are genuine, I don't think they even see me in that way. I don't know. I think
You may not think, because you are
You're delusional, babe. We love you, but
you
you
got to
missing
look
it.
at it from like you have to put your head, as much as it's mad, you have to think of a man in that situation, and even his friends will say it to him like, oh, how are you still friends with her and you ain't had that yet? Like, what's going on here? Why are you two like they'll make, and he may be like, oh, no, that's my girl, it's my homie. One day he may walk into a room and you could be dressed up, you can be dressed down, but something about the way that you look will click for him. It could be something the way you look, the way you say something one day can click, and he's like, yeah, why haven't I considered that? Because she is an amazing person. It would be easier because we're friends. I don't have to break down any walls. I don't have to give her no game. I don't even have to do any work. I can say to her, you free, come to my house now. You'll go because that's your boy and you're cool with him.
my brother, brother Peanut.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Just let her. We said at the top of the show, Winnie doesn't listen to anything we say until a month later. She'll get it.
We know
She's gonna get it when one of these friends try to put it on her butt. Yeah,
it'll be the next group chat, and there'll be two eyes, guys.
So remember when we were?
Yeah, that's. I'll wait for that. Let's just wait for that. Yeah.
I hope they don't.
And sometimes, us as women, we keep these guys around as options because we feel like in years to come, if there's no one else available, then I might as well marry him because he's a cool
guilty.
guy.
There's no lie being told there.
Never been that girl though. I would never do that. Not with my friends.
Yeah, I have no one like that. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but I don't have anyone.
I'm going to the mosque. When you go to the mosque, I'm putting a headscarf. I put my abaya on. I'm like, listen, Sheikh, I reached that age. Let's get married. I don't need to know who they are. Just
who they are.
Their passport. Just they're real. Do you know what I mean? I don't. If it's that deep, like I've already said this, if it's that deep, it gets to 35, I might be going to the masjid just so I have my baby in it. And
I'm done. Wrap the show up. Weena's getting out of control.
Yeah, we better because Meena's about to get crazy.
Yep.
Well, yeah, we need to get out of here.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yes, it's been fantastic. I'm actually gonna do some homework and I'm gonna go on the YouTube and I'm gonna, with each question, I'm gonna do the link. So if you want to hear about that subject, it's so long. Like, ain't nobody got time to be watching through to.
We are entertaining. Thank
people
you very
will,
much.
I watch 3-hour podcasts, so people will.
We are entertaining.
Yeah, but I'll do that anyway. Just
Thank you for having us, twins.
Yeah,
it was great. I mean, we have no filters today. It's just the realness.
This was actually quite clean for us. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
This is really clean for us.
Yeah.
Baby, because in about 30 minutes, and we get back on the group chat.
Ma'am.
I love y'all.
Oh, I love you guys, man. You are amazing. We've got lots of good times ahead.
Yes.
Yes, we do. namely in October and November. Okay, won't the Lord do it? Come on.
And that will be our next live. That will be our next live.
Yes, white Jesus, have your way.
All right.
Yes, white
night.
Jesus.
Don't log off because we're going to be in the studio, you know, the backstage. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Bye, everyone.